New York Stallion Series Statue of Liberty is our feature, where Lady Joan looks to make it 2 straight stakes wins after scoring at Belmont back in late June. She's dreaming will try to take her game to the next level. She comes off a dominant maiden-breaking win on the turf at Belmont in her most recent outing. And it's Fabulous Fillies Day at Saratoga, which means pink rules, all to benefit breast cancer research. We'll show you all the festivities throughout the afternoon. And we'll meet today's honoree, Sheila Rosenblum, who's gone from ballet to modeling to her latest love, horse racing, and getting more women involved in the game. That story coming up later on in the show. Welcome to Saratoga Live. Great to have you with us on this Thursday afternoon here at the Spots, presented by Claiborne Farm. 100 years of doing the usual unusually well. Great card coming up this afternoon, and a beautiful day here in Saratoga Springs at the premier race meets in all the country. There's no bad days at Saratoga. Greg Wolf alongside racing analyst Gabby Gaudet. It is Fabulous Fillies Day. Saratoga is celebrating women and their contributions to thoroughbred racing, and all for a great cause, benefiting cancer research. And our feature race today featuring 3-year-old fillies as well.
Saratoga has swapped the red for the pink so far today, but it's been a fantastic day. We've seen plenty of horses. Actually, on Fabulous Filly Days in the post parade for race 6, we saw all the saddle towels be pink as well. So we're celebrating it. And just a reminder, anybody who's on track can go to those guest services booths around track and donate for a great cause in the Breast Cancer Research Foundation.
Yeah, we'll tell you throughout the show where you can do more to get involved and to donate as well. There was also a Best in Pink fashion contest this afternoon. Did you enter?
I did not. I should have. I'm all pink. You're sporting it as well.
Yes, we all have a little on to represent. We'll be talking plenty about it throughout the afternoon here on Saratoga Live. Right now with more on the day, let's check in with Maggie Wolfendale.
Greg, you certainly can't miss me. I'm very bright pink today in support of Fabulous Fillies Day, and also our feature features fillies, New York bred 3-year-olds to be exact, and those of which sired by sires standing in New York. So we have 3 courageous cats, 2 Freys going postward in today's Statue of Liberty, and we have 6 of the 8 runners coming out of the Cupicoy's Joy division, where Lady Joan, she went on to victory after Lover's Key. She set the early pace in that race, where she'll look to do that here again going the mile. But Lover's Key, she hasn't missed a beat. She actually won an A other than for the New York breds in between these 2 starts, and she'll come up here to the spa for trainer Reed Nagel. We also have a new shooter as far as the Statue of Liberty division is concerned, with number 2, She's Dreamin' for trainer Tom Bush. She graduated from the maiden ranks last time out with a nice, impressive victory, and she'll try to stretch out another furlong to this mile here for her first test against winners in today's Statue of Liberty. But that's coming up in race 8. Horses are, though, here in the paddock for race number 7. Back to you guys.
All right, Maggie, thanks. Don't go too far away. We're going to get back to you in just a little bit and get Maggie's paddock report, which will be crucial for this 7th race ahead. Don't forget, while you watch these races here with us on Saratoga Live, we want you to play along from home. Bet 200 in your Naira Bets account, and you'll get 200 just like that. Use the promo code PIG5 to take advantage. You can get signed up and started with Naira Bets all across the country. It's available nationwide. So go to NairaBets.com, enter that promo code PIG5, and qualify for your sign-up promotion today. Weather is great today, as it's been most of the meet. The main track is fast. Turf course is listed as firm. Mostly sunny skies, 84 degrees today for Thursday's action as we get set for race 7 coming up. And this is what we're going to have for you. That 7th, 6.5 on the main track. The 8th is our feature. That's the Statue of Liberty. 3-year-old fillies over the inner turf going a mile. And we'll close things out with a 5.5 furlong turf sprint for New York bred maidens in our finale on this Thursday afternoon. 7th race here, New York bred 25 claiming event, Gabby, 6.5 furlongs. It's the entry right now that looks like they could be double trouble in here. Todd Pletcher trains the straight one sudden surprise. Bruce Levine, the 1A we did.
People love entries because you get that 2-for-1 deal. So realistically, sometimes it's not the most valuable type of strategy going for an entry, but they do seem like two main foes. And the dynamic of the race was totally changed, and even the class of the race was changed when Manipulated and Married to the Music were scratched. But the entry, they're going to be tough in here.
Common ownership, of course, Mike Rapoli Stable. And as we bring in our rest of our crew here and we get a look there at We Did, New York Racing Association handicapper Andy Serling, former New York Met, Los Angeles Dodger, Paul LaDuca. Guys, the entry, nice 1-2 punch. You have the speed with the straight one and a stalking type with the 1A We Did.
I feel like I have a different set of PPs, Paul, than the rest of the people. This entry's ridiculous at 6-5. The one Sudden Surprise can't win the race. We Did can, but We Did, the 1A, who I think you agree is a strong enough the entry. He beat non-winners of 3 lifetime horses last time. These are conditional claiming races. This is an open claiming race. I don't get this price at all.
No, I'm with you. I didn't think he had the best of trips last time, but I thought he got the job done. He was able to fend off Scarf It Down at the end of this. It was a good race. You do have the double punch in here. Here's the thing. The 7 should be the favorite in here. Love That Jazz. And I think the public's thinking, okay, Sudden Surprise is going to do the dirty work for this horse right here. We Did, and that's why they're getting 6-5. He better be quick because the 7, Love That Jazz, is 4 for 13 lifetime and is very fast early.
Yeah, we'll get to him in a second. Let's talk about finish what We Did. I thought he had a very good trip last time. He's a classic to me. Last time was the time where it was a very hungry field. He was 7-1, and now he's moving up in class. They're showing the one Sudden Surprise. As you said, yeah, maybe he helps Dual Love That Jazz into the ground, but his recent form is horrendous. Who would bet on him? It's an entry, and Gabby's right. It's bad value, but why are they betting Sudden Surprise? It feels like all the money should be on We Did, and he shouldn't be favored.
Well, the confusing part about Sudden Surprise is he had trouble at the gate, and he finally did get out of the gate in his last start on the drop, and just nothing happens. And now a complete drop to 25. Will his speed enhance today? Yes, because of the drop. But when Pletcher drops horses like this and gives up on them that quickly, they usually go awry. The thing that you do have with the one in your corner, 7 for 15 lifetime. So Sudden Surprise either wins or he just goes home, and he is 2 for 2 over this racetrack.
He was a very good 2-year-old. He has not been particularly good since then. Let's go to the 7, Love That Jazz. The 7, Love That Jazz, to me, he's coming off a win. Charlie Baker, his trainer, has very good numbers off wins at Naira tracks, in fact. And here's the win last time out. It was a good sealed track down at Belmont. That's a different type of racetrack. But his form on fast tracks is also good. Charlie Baker has exceptional numbers off of wins. He's a 32% trainer off wins in dirt sprints and claiming races. And I see no reason that this horse can't come back with another good performance. But he is going to have to deal with the one a little bit early.
Yeah, he's going to have to. He was sharp out of the gate, immediately out of the gate. And, you know, 2 back. They took a shot against Breaking the Fever in a little mini stakes race at Finger Lakes. Breaking the Fever has beaten him 3 times in a row, so he got away from him, and he won easy last time. Again, you're right. He has to deal with the 1 in here. But, you know, Gabby, that's what it's sort of designed for the 1A, right?
Yes, I mean, the 1A could definitely benefit from that setup, and he's actually been effective going against 2 other than Allowance Company before in the past. So I get what Andy's saying, that he just notched his non-winners a 3 condition last time out, and this is a much deeper field. But you also have to sift through the rest of the field. I'm with you, Paulie. I think that Love That Jazz should be the favorite as we see him on the screen right now, but there are horses who are kind of just been tailing off in form as of late, and I don't know. This is a pretty tricky race, especially given the pace dynamic with Sudden Surprise, but it does change everything with the scratch of Married to the Music, who would have been probably pressing the pace of the 7, Love That Jazz.
Well, with more in the entry, we're going to head back to the paddock right now with Maggie.
And guys, as you were saying, you are getting the price, 2 for the price of 1 here with that entry. And as you were also saying, speed and a closer. But you're also getting a horse that one is in good form and the other, well, he necessarily isn't. As I'll look at the plain part of that entry with number 1, Sudden Surprise. Physically, he looks great here. I mean, he's one of the better looking horses in this field. He's calm, he's nicely composed here overall. And to be fair, this is the cheapest that he has ever run. So there's every bit of, you know, encouraging factors that he could be competitive with this field. And look, he's a 7 for 15 life horse. He knows how to win. He knows how to find his way to the winner's circle. And a lot of times, I think in these kind of spots, that's what you want to look for. Yes, though, he's going to have to deal with the other speed in here, and that is, to me, the horse to beat in number 7, Love That Jazz for Charlie Baker. I think he looks phenomenal here. He is the best looking horse in the paddock. I mean, just carrying his weight well, very well conditioned overall. Really like what I'm seeing from him here. I think he should be very, very tough. Now, coming in off of a layoff, though, is number 6, Escape to the Moon here for Steve Clisseris. Now, Steve's overall numbers with horses coming back off layoffs aren't that great over the last 5 years, but I feel like lately he's been kind of bucking his bad numbers, as we saw earlier in the card in the first race, a horse coming third off the layoff, going back to the turf, and this one going turf to dirt here off the bench. He does look fit. He's not a turf horse whatsoever. I feel like that was kind of a last gasp effort before giving him some needed time. He looks good here overall. The front bandages do stay on, but he's worn them throughout his career. And he looks fit enough to me. He's nice, calm, cool, and collected here as well. So an interesting player at a decent price for what could be dangerous connections here. Greg?
Maggie, thank you. I thought the 6 was scary in here off the bench. We shall see. 8-1 on the board here on Escape to the Moon. Second off the claim for Steve Clisseris. We're going to take a break in the action. Race 7 from Saratoga coming up when we return. Still ahead, more from Fabulous Fillies Day at Saratoga. Who's prettiest in pink? We'll hear more from our honoree as well, Sheila Rosenblum, and her story next.
Claiborne Farm presents Trap Shot. This graded stakes winner and multiple Grade 1 performer is now an emerging young sire. His top runners include Fish Trap Road, winner of the Grade 3 Dwyer Stakes, plus 2-year-old stakes winner Mirai, graded stakes place Quick Release, and Grade 1 performers My Man Sam and Wild Shot. Already ranked among the nation's leading sires of 2-year-old winners, Trap Shot has the speed, the class, and the pedigree to remain Tappett's top sign. Trap Shot at Claiborne Farm.
Make NYSS your home for online horse racing and betting. Use NYSS to bet on live horse racing from around the world. Bet from anywhere, anytime using your computer or mobile device. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Play in our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates. Sign up at NYSS.com and start earning your sign-up bonus today. NYSS, racing's best play. Use promo code PICK5 to get a $200 new member sign-up bonus on NYSS.com.
Back on Saratoga Live, Todd Pletcher just leaving our screen right there. Of course, he's the trainer of the straight one part of the entry, Sudden Surprise. Want to remind everyone to play the Saratoga Showdown contest. Free online game where you can play with a mythical bankroll, not risk any of your own money, and get introduced to the game of horse racing and how to play and win some money. And you get some real prizes as well, like 50,000 NYSS points and possibility of an entry to win a 2018 Belmont Stakes prize package valued at over $2,000. So go to SaratogaShowdown.com to get involved, or to NYRA.com and be part of that. Getting close, 9 minutes away here from race 7 at Saratoga. Our post parade here coming up momentarily. Entry at 8-5 on the board.
Like I said, people love that 2-for-1 deal, and you can't blame them. One of them involves Todd Pletcher, who has been having a phenomenal meet thus far. And he is one of the likely speeds in here. Sudden surprises, but he'll probably have to battle off the speed of the 7, Love That Jazz. It could create a perfect setup for We Did, who is the other half of the entry. I think that's the stronger half of the entry is the 1A.
Yeah, I think most people would agree. Although Sudden Surprise, the one, is 2 for 2 at Saratoga. We're going to talk about one of the ultimate horse for courses, race named in his honor, coming up later on this weekend. We'll have for you. Of course, he was a turf horse, 4-star day. But yeah, We Did appears to be the class of the entry, and that 8-5 price a little bit short here. As you see, Sam the Bugler means it is post time here for race 7. We're going to kick things off with Sudden Surprise here for Poli Stable. Trained by Todd Pletcher, John Velasquez aboard, and a perfect 2 for 2 at the Spa.
Very fast, will likely show speed, but his last 2 races haven't been as good as his races last year.
He will break from post 4. It's the outside post for the other half of the entry, also for Rapoli Stable. Javier Castellano aboard for Bruce Levine.
Fresh off of a victory last time out against non-winners of 3 Lifetime Company, but faces that Open Company here today.
Bruce Levine also sends out the 3 Pegasus Red for McRitch Stables. Jose Lezcano aboard.
5 for 56 and hasn't won for quite some time. We'll hope that pace comes back to him.
Saratoga Heater, it's first off the claim for Gary Contessa. Angel Arroyo aboard.
Claimed off a perfect trip win from a very high percentage barn.
He is 3 for 6 here at Saratoga. The 5 Bluegrass prevails. Trained by Ray Handel, Manny Franco rides.
A trainer switch there to Ray Handel today and has been facing 2 other than Allowance Company, but the last time he was in for this condition, he did not win.
Here's the layoff horse, Escape to the Moon, making his 7-year-old debut for Steve Glaceris. Eric Cancel rides.
Steve Glaceris' numbers off layoffs are not particularly strong. He does have go-back races that would be good enough to win here, however.
And the 7, Love That Jazz, Speedster, 4-time winner for Charlie Baker with Jose Ortiz in the irons.
He dropped in class last time out for the first time and got the victory. He could use that momentum for back-to-back victories today.
So that is your field. There's the 8, I should say. Global positioning here. This long shot to the 8 outside. 25-1 with Kendrick Carmouche for Bruce Brown.
A rank outsider whose recent races at the Naira track wouldn't be good enough.
All right, so there's your group. Guys, I know you wanted to touch on Bluegrass Prevails in here for Ray Handel. It's Manny Franco aboard. Of course, he had a huge day a couple days ago with 3 wins in a row.
I think this horse makes a certain amount of sense. Ray does do very well. His last race was kind of outrun. We have Buston. It was a one-way speed horse, sort of blew the field away. And the time before that, I thought he ran a very solid race behind Riff Raff and actually finished well ahead of the 1. I think he's a player in here.
Yeah, Riff Raff sort of overwent on the top of him. That was actually a pretty quick pace. I thought he ran good 2 back. I'm with you. He sort of went to the outside, and you'll see him late, and then Riff Raff ran him down. You're getting a good price at 5-1. Him and the 4 Saratoga Heater right to the front of him. One of those 2 horses is going to get a very good trip in here, and they're both about the same price.
Yeah, I'd much prefer Bluegrass Prevails. If we can go to Saratoga Heater we're looking at right now. With all due respect to Gary Contessa, he's winning at a 9% clip with 268 starters this year. This horse was claimed from Robertino. Robertino Diodoro had him this day, and Robertino Diodoro was firing all cylinders at Belmont. And this horse is bet like the race had been run yesterday, and he got it done at 6-5 over an okay field, maybe some lessers than the one facing here. It was in David Jacobson's barn. I'm going to be interested to see if this horse can come back in almost 2 months and duplicate that effort. I am dubious, and he's better on a wet track.
He's a tough read. Gabby and I both thought, I thought he had a great trip on this day, Gabby. And can he win this race? Yes, but he's going to have to sit that same trip.
I think he definitely could. This is a horse who, coming out of the gate last time out, though, he was shuffled back early, and then he kind of inherited the lead and then went on from there to get the victory. But I have the same reservations as Andy does with a horse like Saratoga Heater, that he's coming out of 2 very high percentage barns who clip at a high rate in David Jacobson and Robertino Diodoro. To improve or make a lateral move off of them, I could foresee being difficult.
Well, he's 3 for 6 here on this course at Saratoga. 9-2 on the board on Saratoga Heater. Meanwhile, standing by with Mike Rapoli, who made some news as well at the Fasig-Tipton sale. Let's go to Maggie.
That's exactly right, Greg. 900,000 in partners with Eclipse Thoroughbreds. Mike for a Medaglia Dworo. What'd you like about this one?
You know, both us and Eclipse like the horse. You know, I probably was going to go up to 600. I think they were going to go to 600. we both thought he was going to go more than that. So we just spoke about splitting horses and going 50-50. We tried a couple times and we got outbid, and I guess this one was meant to be. So we went partners with them, and hey, they won the Belmont. My dream is to win the Belmont. Maybe we'll do it together.
It could be a lucky partnership, that's for sure. But as far as bringing fans and family out, you make this a family experience here at the races. I think you have, what, 10 boxes, 2 buses full of people?
Yeah, we got like 60 people today. My daughter Joya, my wife Maria, and a bunch of people that work for my Body Armor Sports Drink Company, and from California, Texas, a lot of guys, first time Saratoga. Took me 45 years to get into the winner's circle. Took them an hour, so it's pretty exciting.
Yeah, and you won our 6th race today with Driven by Speed. And talking about the entry in here, we did as well as the Sudden Surprise. Can we get the price, 2 for 1 here? Which one's going to make it the winner's circle?
Listen, I think they're both training well. Sudden Surprise is probably going to be in the lead. If he's pressed by all that jazz, I think it really sets it up for We Did. So for me, it's 2 different trainers. I mean, Bruce Levine and Todd, but Sudden Surprise should see the front, and We Did should be coming, so it could be interesting.
Well, you've had a lot of success with Todd, but Bruce is where it all began.
Yeah, Bruce claiming horses and New York breds, and I've had horses along with Bruce and Todd, so it's a good combination because there are certain horses that fit Todd's program, certain horses that fit Bruce's program.
Well, Mike, it's always great to catch up with you. Best of luck here. Congratulations earlier, too.
Thanks, Maggie. Appreciate it.
All right, Gabby, what do you think about this one here?
I think the entry definitely holds a very strong hand going into this race. But we'll take a look at the 6, Escape to the Moon. This is a horse that Maggie was alluding to in the paddock. And it's interesting because Steve Glaceris, she's right. He's got bad numbers going from turf to dirt with his sprinters. He's got bad numbers going from dirt to turf with his sprinters. But we saw him buck that trend earlier on today's card when he won with a horse who was going from dirt to turf earlier today. So this horse could definitely take the step forward. Sometimes I have my reservations with horses that haven't been able to find the winner's circle in quite some time, and that's kind of the case with this horse, who has not managed to get a victory since November of 2015.
Yeah, now you want it to happen off a layoff. He hasn't raced in September in his 7-year-old campaign.
It's a tough ask, and I think, Greg, that's really why the money is pouring in on the entry right now.
So 9-1 on Escape to the Moon. Meanwhile, right next door, Love That Jazz. We should have Mike Rapoli on as an analyst here. I love that about Mike. He not just owns horses, loves this game, but he dives in and he's looking at these past performances, and he expects to see this horse here challenging the one Sudden Surprise on the front end.
That's why he's had so much success in the game. He pays attention, a very, very savvy owner as well. And guys, Love That Jazz. This is a horse. I know he's going to have to probably battle off the speed of the one Sudden Surprise, but don't you think he kind of has the advantage of being just to his outside, and the advantage that Married to the Music isn't in here?
Yeah, I don't think you're going to see a blazing pace in here. I don't think the one is that fast. I think Love That Jazz will be in a very comfortable position stalking outside. I don't expect a fast pace. It wasn't even supposed to be that fast a pace with the 2B in here without him in there. I think it's going to be a moderate pace. And yes, Gabby definitely has an edge being outside of the one.
I'm with you. I mean, the horse had the edge last time on the outside, and the horse is sharp. That's just the bottom line. And I think is going to go to the front end. When you look at the other horses in here, the 8 global positioning to the outside of them, not much pace in there. So I think you're going to see the same scenario, guys, upstairs that you saw last time on Love That Jazz. Not that easy of a lead, but, with the 33-1 shot to his outside, he's going to be able to settle.
And maybe, that 3-2 that we see here, Mike Rapoli always rolls with an entourage. He's got lots of friends with him wherever he goes. Maybe they're all betting on the entry in here.
I would say that, but when you see an entry right now at 3-2, and I mean, I really do like the 1A in here. We did, but like we mentioned, there's really no value in the entry right now at 3-2. That creates value for other players in the field. So if you do Love That Jazz, I think 2-1 is a great price on him. And mind you, Love That Jazz, last time out, he dropped in class. He had been facing Stakes Company or Quality New York Bred Allowance Company, so maybe that's really all he needed.
Loading up here for race 7, 6.5 furlongs, New York bred 25 claiming event. The entry, the 3-2 favorite with the 1-2 punch of Sudden Surprise. And We Did. Let's send it upstairs to the voice of the Triple Crown for the call, Larry Colmus.
Bluegrass prevails into the starting gate. Here's Sudden Surprise and We Did. Love That Jazz is in. Global Positioning will be the last one. Global Positioning coming up to the outside stall. Goes in. They're all in line. They're off. A stumble coming out of the gate by Love That Jazz. A bad stumble indeed. And it will be Sudden Surprise who sprints out to the early lead. Sudden Surprise to the front. There goes Long Shot Global Positioning on the outside into second position. We Did is third, and then comes Escape to the Moon, Pegasus Red on the inside. Love That Jazz, after stumbling at the start, is 4 lengths off the lead outside of horses. Then Saratoga Heater and Bluegrass Prevails. 22.59 was the first quarter. Sudden Surprise a half mile out as Long Shot Global Positioning pressing the pace on the outside. The two of them are right together on the lead. Love That Jazz has progressed up into third on the outside of We Did, who's fourth in between horses. Pegasus Red is fifth down on the inside. The others have some catching up to do. Saratoga Heater's 5 lengths off the lead, racing on the rail. And then comes Escape to the Moon, and they're coming to the top of the stretch. Sudden Surprise, Global Positioning, Love That Jazz on the outside. Pegasus Red cuts the corner in fourth. On the far outside, We Did is fifth, a furlong to go. Sudden Surprise spurts away. Now to a 4-length lead on Love That Jazz. And then it's Pegasus Red on the inside, followed by We Did and Global Positioning. Sudden Surprise coming home a winner under John Velasquez. 2.5 lengths to the good under the wire. And then it was Pegasus Red, followed by Love That Jazz, and a 4-way photo for fourth in 1 minute 17.59 seconds.
Well, never hurts to get a little bit lucky in here, and this race changed completely to the better for Sudden Surprise when Love That Jazz, the 7, stumbled out of the gate. Sudden Surprise got the lead all to himself and kept on going.
We saw that Loved That Jazz stumbling very badly immediately coming out of the gate. And Sudden Surprise under Johnny Velasquez, he took absolute advantage of this. He kind of noticed that Love That Jazz wasn't going to be pressing him, so he gave the horse a little bit of a breather in the first part of the race, and that just gave him the stamina to keep on going. Nobody had it in him to catch him. But I will say, Love That Jazz, huge performance given the start of the race.
Yeah, Love That Jazz obviously would have won this race if he hadn't stumbled badly at the start. Sudden Surprise was able to go about as slow as you can. To compare that to a 6-furlong race, you'll see. I mean, son, the fact that Love That Jazz actually finished third after this, I mean, he almost fell down in here. It's a credit to the rider. Jose Ortiz stayed on. It's better to be lucky than good sometimes.
Yeah, and you know the thing is, if you probably got Sudden Surprise out of the entry, you'd have got 7-1, 6-1 on this horse.
Oh, he's every bit of that. He could. If the 7 doesn't stumble at the start, he might have finished last. Who knows where he finished? 7 drives him, duels him in the ground, draws off to win easily. The 1A was a complete and total no-show. In fact, the other Bruce Levine horse at 36-1 came up the good inside.
The 7 just was unlucky, guys. I mean, I thought Pegasus Red at 36-1 will split your 2 favorites here, but no doubt about the winner. When you let Pletcher on the front end, they just don't stop.
3 wins for trainer Todd Pletcher this afternoon, 2 for John Velasquez, and it works out well for Sudden Surprise in this 7th at Saratoga, and a win for Rapoli Stable. We'll be back with the prices. We're going to take a short time out. When we come back, Sheila Rosenblum of Lady Sheila Stable is honored. We'll tell you the story of her ladies-only syndicate and a filly who changed her fortunes. Change the way you watch racing forever with the new Naira Now app. Live racing in English or Spanish from a variety of camera angles, race replays, talking horses, race analysis, and a multitude of on-demand content, all in high definition. Naira Now is available on many platforms, including iOS, Android, Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire, and more coming soon. Download Naira Now today, free in the App Store, and start watching the best racing like never before. Back on Saratoga Live, there's Mike Rapoli with his son of Giant Surprise getting into the winner's circle and his entourage of friends enjoying the victory here with a win at Saratoga. Sudden Surprise wins for the 8th time in 16 starts. He is 3 for 3 at the spa, returns $4.50 for the win. 2 for John Velasquez today, 3 for trainer Todd Pletcher. Let's head downstairs to Maggie for more. All right, we'll get to Maggie in a moment here. 1-3-7 is how it finished. That huge long shot, Pegasus Red, winding up second here in this spot. But again, you see how this game can be so maddening sometimes. The horse who was the best of the bunch stumbles out of the gate, and it sets it up for someone else.
We go into the race trying to predict the pace scenario, but when you have one of those pace setters stumble, well, it's all over from there.
Rather be lucky than good sometimes. Let's send it downstairs to Maggie.
Sitting by with winning trainer Todd Pletcher, and Todd picking up 2 wins here in a row, but sudden surprise, he was able to take advantage of a stumbling Love That Jazz, and he controlled.
Yeah, that was a big break for us. Our horse got away cleanly. The other main speed did not, and that gave us the edge we needed.
He's a horse. He's won 8 for 16 lifetime. He knows his way to the winner's circle. Those are pretty nice to have in the barn.
Really are. I mean, he's been a consistent horse most of his career. Seems to really like Saratoga, so we're happy to get him back in the winner's circle here.
And you're tying it up as far as the leaderboard is concerned. Do you think about that at all, or is that just, you just take race by race?
And we're not even halfway there yet. There's so much racing left, but we're just happy we're having a good meet so far.
Well, Todd, wishing you the best of luck. Congratulations here.
Thank you.
All right, Greg.
So Todd Pletcher, Chad Brown, the 2 trainers that won all 3 legs of this year's Triple Crown, going head-to-head here at the spa.
That's a good point. Todd Pletcher has won plenty of training titles here at Saratoga, but of course Chad got his first last year, so it's going to be an interesting battle to the finish line this year.
Of course, the Naira Bets late pick 5. It began back in the 5th. And the only way to play this, if you reside outside the state of New York, is, of course, with Naira Bets. If there's a single winning ticket, $150,000 payout. On Saturdays, it is $300,000 if you play it through Naira Bets. Back in race 5, it kicked off with Summer House, David Jacobson getting the victory. Race 6, the second leg of the sequence. Even money on Munchkin Money, but it was the 10 outside post driven by speed, and John Velasquez got to the front, kept on going.
And she was fresh off of a victory, but going against maiden $40,000 company, so took that step forward and got the job done, giving one of Todd Pletcher's many wins today.
Yeah, she looks like she could have a future on the draft. She's undefeated now, 2 for 2 on the turf, driven by speed. So this is how this Naira Bets late pick 5 follow-along has gone so far. Total pool, $114,988. And we are 3 legs in. Our feature still to come, and then you never know what can happen in the Nightcap in a maiden, or I should say a maiden event for New York breds coming up.
That race is wide open. I also think our featured stakes race is very interesting. A lot of trip handicapping and preference there, so we'll see what happens. But 2 very good races still left to come.
We mentioned top of the show today, Fabulous Fillies Day at Saratoga, and the sizzling hot pink Saratoga hat luncheon to benefit the Breast Cancer Research Foundation honoree Sheila Rosenblum of Lady Sheila Stable.
I got into this sport as a hobby, worked my behind off, as they say. I have a passion, I have had perseverance, and I kept it going. And that was a couple of years ago, and fast forward to today, I've been incredibly fortunate, and I've been fortunate enough to try to bring women into the sport. And I have 2 tables full of quite a few friends and partners, and they came in and they've embraced the sport like I have. And we need women in racing. It's important.
Well, she mentioned trainer Linda Rice, Sheila Rosenblum and Linda Rice. They've been a formidable team. Sheila Rosenblum, of course, has gone from the Royal Ballet School in London to being a sought-after runway model to now her new passion, thoroughbreds, and getting more women interested in the game.
Anyone who knows me knows that my life's about my 2 children and a particular horse that is a love story, a New York love story. I was asked to purchase a horse named Laverdad, who happened to win an Eclipse Award last year. Thank you, Laverdad. I bought Laverdad, and she had maybe won 2 or 3 small races at that point. And I remember asking my trainer, Linda, if she thought she at least had a good race or 2 left in her. It's in my middle of my mantle. My kid said, Mom, that doesn't really match. And I said, tell that to an Oscar. When I said, for me, that's a pretty big thing. As hard as this can be, and the fact that it's not just Laverdad, you've got to stick out the bad times. And she's been off the scene now for over a year, and it's still thriving. And there are up-and-coming horses, and some of our 2-year-olds, some of our 3-year-olds. I've really brought in about 8 or 9 women now in different groups, and we have a great time. It's camaraderie. For the most part, it has been all women, and one of my favorite vets is a female, Dr. Hogan. There should be more women, and there should be more partners, and there should be more female just enjoying. We can enjoy what the men do, and it's exhilarating. My entire serious racing success has been with my trainer, Linda Rice. There are always paths one takes, and the good news is I kept it going through pitfalls, and that gave me the ability to learn that the ballet background I had and the modeling background taught me a lot of rejection. Ballet is really what taught me about working hard and slowly. And it's been a wonderful, incredible 6 years, and a lot of ups and downs, but the ups have surpassed the negatives, and this is all about perseverance. Laverdad put me on the map in pretty much to where I am now, to being an accidental breeder. She's now become a mom, almost at 7:30 at night, almost Valentine's Day. And she's doing beautifully, and I named her La Cara Mia after my daughter, and I thought it was poetic. People were wondering, is she going to be the new kid on the block for the first year or the second year? Now I've been more fortunate than many, and one comes and goes in this business, can very rapidly. But I think it's my love of horses that has kept me going.
Oh, there's the silks of Lady Sheila Stable. It's pretty amazing. When Laverdad was second in that 2015 Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Sprint, that was just 1 week after winning the Iroquois at Belmont. And of course, Sheila Rosenblum, she has been a fierce advocate for horses in their post-racing careers as well, finding them new homes, teaming with new vocations, making sure they receive the same love, care, and attention that they had after the racetrack that they had on it during their racing careers. We're going to take a break in the action. We'll be back with more Saratoga Live. Still to come, the New York Stallion Series Statue of Liberty. She's dreaming past her maiden test on the turf. Is she ready for the next step?
Undefeated in sprint competition, Eclipse champion Run Happy captured 3 Grade 1 victories and set blistering speed records at both Keeneland and Saratoga. In the Breeders' Cup Sprint, he dominated the world's fastest runners, going 6 furlongs in a record-breaking 108 and change. The only horse nominated for 3 Eclipse Awards, Run Happy was crowned champion male sprinter, all the while racing 100% drug-free. Champion, millionaire, record breaker, Run Happy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
And they're off. NyraBet's Pick 5 is now available exclusively online at nyrabets.com. Bet the NyraBet's Pick 5 every race day with a 15% takeout on the last 5 races on the card from the country's best racing at Belmont and Saratoga. Find it nationwide on NYRABets.com, right in the Bet Type drop-down menu. Or at any NYRA track or New York OTB location. NYRA Bets Pick 5, racing's best bet.
You're watching Saratoga Live on Fox Sports 2 at historic Saratoga on fabulous Fillies Day. It's all about pink this afternoon, supporting breast cancer research. You can do your part by going to bcrf.org to donate as well. Fans encouraged to wear pink throughout the afternoon to show their support for breast cancer awareness. There was even a Best in Pink fashion contest and a chance to win a prize package valued at $2,000. Everyone having a great time on this Thursday afternoon here at Saratoga. Our feature is next. New York Stallion Series Statue of Liberty Stakes. And a field of 8 traveling a mile over the inner turf. Paz the Bourbon right now is the current 3-1 favorite. But Gabby, top 5 finishers all coming out of the same race, a race that was won by the 4 Lady Joan.
This is a tough race because you have to dive into the New York Stallions race that several of these fillies come out of. And we'll take a look at that last race and talk about it. Lady Joan got the better of those horses in there, but she did get a perfect trip. We can see her just stalking from off of the pace. And when Luis Saez asked her to move, she went. But it was a pretty slow pace up there, so she got an ideal trip, as did the likes of Lover's Key. So the big question is, who do you want out of this race, and who do you think is going to improve now stretching out from 7/8 to the mile? Or do you maybe want a new face? I prefer Lady Joan out of this race just because I like her versatility. I think she should be able to handle at a distance. Last time she went a distance of ground was in the P.G. Johnson against much better company. So I do prefer her going in a different direction. But guys, what did you make of that last one?
I think you asked the right questions there, Gabby. Lady Joan does worry me, the distance, because I thought her P.G. Johnson was bad, better horses or not. I think she's shown that she's a better horse around one turn. I like Paz the Bourbon. I think she's going to be better going longer. She draws very well on the rail, and in my opinion, Paul, she was the one who was most compromised by the dynamics of the last race.
It was a merry-go-round race, right? I mean, Lady Joan sort of just sat right behind Lover's Key, put her away, but the other horses did not change position. Now, Lover's Key came out of that race to wire a field next time out, going 7 furlongs. Again, you keep looking at this race, none of the horses that are getting bet have 2-turn experience, and that's maybe why the 5 is getting better here a little bit. As you're looking at the 1 now, Paz the Bourbon, was a tepid favorite at 3-1.
Yeah, I think she should be. I also think with Javier Castellano, he's going to be the one who understands that while she may have the speed of the others, he's going to go enough early so that if Lover's Key is able to clear Lady Joan, and if Carrier Heels, because Carrier Heels is supposed to go. She didn't go last time. She needs to go. If Ira Ortiz gets hung up outside and isn't aggressive, she'll be last in this race. He needs to be aggressive to have a chance. If Lover's Key, the 6, is able to get away with murder in the front, as she has in her last 2 starts, then it'll make it tough for the others. But I think Javier will do enough to maybe make it a little bit tougher on her, and that might be enough to turn the tables. And here's Lover's Key winning her last start against lesser foes with a very soft pace.
But she's sharp, right, Andy?
Yep.
And listen, since they put blinkers on this filly, she has been nothing but spectacular. She's got basically a 1 second-place finish. It was to Lady Joan, so you can't fault her. She's done it around 2 turns at Gulfstream Park as well. So this daughter of Frost Giant was game again this day.
She is, and she's good, and she could get loose. And her trainer, Reed Nagel, who Maggie actually had caught up at Belmont Park with, has done a great job with her. But she has had everything go her own way, Maggie, in her recent starts.
She has, but I do think she has a big weapon here, and that is her speed. And as Polly was mentioning, the addition of blinkers has really turned this filly's life around. And you want to talk about some serious blinkers? Well, Lover's Key wears just that. She has an extension blinker on the outside on her right eye, and then she has a full cup on her left eye. So she can pretty much only see right in front of her, and especially out of her left eye. So her only choice is to run forward because that's the only thing she can actually see, really. She also has a Houghton bit on, which is one of those bits that's a straight bar with the metal underneath the chin that is really good for horses that want to lug in or lug out. So obviously this equipment suits her well. It corrects all her problems, and she's one of a few horses that responds very, very positively to the extension blinker. Now, physically overall, she looks great. She carries her weight well. She's got a nice coat to her. She's a little bit more relaxed, though, than I had seen her down at Belmont. That's the only difference I see with Lover's Key this time around. Now, another horse that comes out of that Cupicoy's Joy division of this New York Stallion series is number 1, Paz the Bourbon. Now, I've always thought as though this filly would prefer a longer distance, and she gets it here. Now, I really wish she would have filled out a bit more from 2 to 3, but like I said, physically she fits the bill for going longer a bit better. Moving on to a new face as far as these ranks are concerned is number 2, She's Dreamin'. Now, she'll try to stretch out an extra furlong, but based upon her effort at the 7/8 and breaking her maiden, the way she cleared off against that field suggests to me that she has every bit of the ability to get the mile here. And physically overall, guys, I think she looks best here in this field. She's kind of won me over in the physical sense here, Greg.
All right, Maggie, thank you. So She's Dreaming 4-length score to break her maiden at Belmont back on July 15th. And positive feedback on the appearance here in the paddock. We're going to take a break in the action. The Statue of Liberty's coming up. Can Lady Joan go back-to-back? She'll try to make it 2 straight stakes wins when we return.
Make NyraBets your home for online horse racing and betting. Use NyraBets to bet on live horse racing from around the world. Bet from anywhere, anytime using your computer or mobile device. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Play in our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates. Sign up at NyraBets.com and start earning your sign-up bonus today. NyraBets, racing's best play. Use promo code PICK5 to get a $200 new member sign-up bonus on NyraBets.com.
The world's #1 sire of 2-year-olds, Warfront, continues to command top prices with yearlings this year, bringing up to $1.9 million. On the track, Warfront has sired recent Grade 1 winner Avenge, Grade 1 victors Brave Anna, and graded stakes winning juveniles in France, England, and Ireland, Roly Poly, War Decree, and Intelligence Cross. A leading sire on all fronts, from Paris, Kentucky to Paris, France. Claiborne Farms, Warfront.
Back on Saratoga Live here on Fox Sports 2. New York Stallion Series Statue of Liberty, our feature race. Coming up 1 mile over the inner turf. Every day of the Saratoga meet, NYRA Bets offering a 10% winner's bonus on your trifecta bet on a selected stakes. Today, hit the try on your mobile device in this upcoming Statue of Liberty and earn a 10% winner's bonus. See the full schedule and bet Saratoga Racing and over 200 other tracks nationwide at NYRA Bets, the official betting site for Saratoga Racecourse. Great crowd on hand on this Thursday afternoon, all getting set for our feature race of the day coming up. And as we get set for our post parade, it's brought to you by OCD Pellets, celebrating their 10th anniversary of supporting the equine industry with their 2-in-1 bone and joint supplement. For more information, be sure to visit OCDPellets.com. We start things off with Paz the Bourbon for Bourbon Lane Stable, trained by Mark Hennig, with Javier Castellano aboard.
May appreciate the return to 2 turns and 1 mile. Needs to get good position early.
She's Dreaming, coming off that 4-length score to break her maiden, trained by Thomas Bush, owned by Parting Glass Racing with Manny Franco.
She was very handy last time out, and I think she can put herself in a good position. Now she's facing multiple winners and some stakes type. I think she can take that step.
Long shot Emiliana's Hope, the 3 here for trainer David Donk. Funky Monkey Stable, Joel Rosario rides.
Broke her maiden in a maiden claiming race, is obviously facing much tougher today.
Lady Joan, this was the morning line favorite for Hilly Fields Stable, trained by Phil Serpi. Luis Saez rides.
She was game last time when sort of just stalking the front end horse and got the job done and been working locally very well.
Apex Racing Stable sends out the 5 Hollywood Cat. John Velasquez will take over in the irons for Carlos Martin.
At 15-1, she might be the biggest underlay of the entire meeting. She will lose to even the 3, who's 26-1.
Lover's Key, owned and trained by Reed Nagel, Junior Alvarado aboard.
Since they've added blinkers to this filly, she has been great, and now looking for another W on her resume.
Silly Numbers, the 7 for Nirvana Stables, trained by Jimmy Ryerson. It's Jose Ortiz on board.
Met many in this group in the New York Stallion Series race, 2 races back, and ran well enough that she's not the worst long shot to use, picking up Jose Ortiz.
And the 8 Carrier Heel, sent out by Gatz's Stables, Irad Ortiz Jr. for John Terranova.
Good win, 2 back, and she raced against a lot of these others in here, and she only needs to make a couple lengths up on the favorite.
All right, I'm not sure. I don't think Andy's betting the 5 here, but who will you be putting your money on?
I've got the 5 into the winner's circle, Greg. You've got that. That's clear. I like the 1 Paz the Bourbon. I think she's proficient. She's shown that she's proficient at 2 turns. She draws inside. Javier will get the right position with her. And I'm going to box her with the 2. The 6 to me is going to be very dangerous. But I'm going to take a shot with She's Dreaming, a horse who could really be improving at the right time for Tom Bush.
I like the 2. I'll push back with you on the 1. I thought the 1 had a decent trip last time out, but they went around. So I'm not arguing with you there, because the other races around 2 turns, you can't, like we said yesterday, you can't predict whether the horse can run like 2 turns. I like the way She Dreamin' won last time. Was it against much? No, but I think she can improve. Listen, this race is a tough race to gauge, and who's going to carry that race, Gabby? We talked about this earlier. Do you take one of the 5 horses out of that race, or you take one of the others?
I'm taking one of the others in the 2, She's Dreaming, and we can see Tom Bush with the stats, a good move there, positive ROI. Just because this is when She's Dreaming did get the victory going against Maiden Special Weight Company. The first time that she got a little bit out of distance to 7/8, she sat just off the pace, but the pace was actually pretty quick. And we saw the pace setter, the number 6 horse in there. She hung on to finish. So the pace pretty much held together. She was just so much the best that day that she drew away from the field, and that's where I think that she can take that step forward. It is a big ask to face winners for the first time off of a maiden win, but you kind of want to pay attention to horses that will improve with distance, and that's what I see from her in the 2, She's Dreaming.
I mean, you win like that going away on the turf too, you probably deserve a shot to face a little tougher. So that's what She's Dreaming will certainly get here this afternoon. Meanwhile, on the outside, Carry Your Heels for John Terranova took 3 starts, but was able to get that maiden score at 6 furlongs at Belmont, and then caught a turf course with a little give in it first time against winners, and that happened to be the race that the 5 runners are coming out of.
I will say she's a tough filly to get a good grasp on because she did get the victory against Maiden Special Company 2 starts back. She's Dreaming in that race, but She's Dreaming could likely improve with distance, whereas Carrier Heels might not improve with added distance. But it wasn't a bad race last time out, Andy, as she too was pace compromised.
Well, yeah, I agree with you that she's not likely to improve with distance. I don't think it was a good performance last time. You could say she was pace compromised, Gabby, but I think she's one that can be more forwardly placed because she's more of a sprinter type. See, I think Paz de Bourbon is more of a router type, and she was compromised by the slow pace because she was forced to be close and a little bit taken out of her game. Carrier Heels was more comfortable in that spot. I think that the finish looks better because in turf races with the sort of smush factor, especially when they're going slowly, when they're going that slowly up front, they're not going to finish that far behind even the lessers. So it makes it look like she ran much better than she did. She was absolutely no factor in that race, and now she has to find position from the far outside post. Good luck to her.
Well, that's the key now. Well, maybe she gets better position now, right? Like Lover's Key does go with Lady Joan. Maybe she sits that outside trip. And you do get Irad. Maybe that can shake her up a little bit.
I think she's a preposterous underlay. She's not as big an underlay as the 5 at 16-1, but she's close.
Never shy to share his opinion. Yeah, 5-1. A little surprising on Carrier Heels. With more on this Daughter of Freud, let's go to Maggie.
And what Andy was talking about makes sense. I mean, she is going to have to overcome that outside post position as she stretches out for the first time. Now, she has gotten a very aggressive warm-up here from jockey Irad Ortiz, who's getting a border for the first time. So I think they're going to try to use some of that speed because last time it didn't quite work out, her being, behind the pace setters in that last race in the Cupicoy's Joy division. So it'll be interesting to see what happens when they spring the latch, because I don't think she's as naturally fast as Lover's Key. Though, physically, she looks great here, guys. I mean, I can't fault her whatsoever in the physical sense. Next, we'll take a look at number 4, Lady Joan for Phil Serpy. Now she's going to try to defend her title here. I will say that I'm not in love with her as much as I was going back to that last effort, which albeit was a month and a half ago. So I like her, I respect her. I just don't know if she's quite as good today as she was last time. So they're steady on number 1 though here past Suburban, guys. I agree with Andy and the public that I think a mile should be able to turn the tables on the rest of her foes here.
Well, she's a 5-2 favorite as we get a look at her right there at Paz the Bourbon, again for Bourbon Lane Stable. So coming off that 3rd place performance in the common race that 5 exit, we'll see if she sharpens up here going a mile.
She's an interesting horse, Greg, because they started her off and they spent a really long time sprinting her. So the thought process here is that Mark Hennig thought that she preferred going shorter for the first several starts of her career. She looked like a closing sprinter. And then she was well backed by the public when she stretched out on the turf. She's just versatile. She has a good post position, but sometimes going the mile in these types of races at Saratoga, it's hard to figure it out. Crazy things happen going the mile here at Saratoga, but she does look like the likely horse to improve with distance.
So she, again, your 5-2 favorite as we get set for this New York Stallion Series Statue of Liberty Stakes, our feature here on this Thursday coming up. 5 fillies coming out of the same race, but it's the new shooters that are very intriguing. The 2 She's Dreaming, that big maiden score, and Lover's Key, the 6. Has won 4 of her last 5. New audience joining us right now for the feature. Welcome to Saratoga Live here on Fox Sports 2, MSG Plus, and those just joining us on Altitude Network. Great to have you with us here on this Thursday afternoon at Saratoga. It's presented by Claiborne Farm. 100 years of doing the usual unusually well. For those who have just joined us, great time to remind you to get signed up and started. Play along while you watch the races that we bring you here on the show. If you bet 200, you get 200 in your Naira Bets account. Use the promo code PICK5 to take advantage. You can get signed up and started with Naira Bets all across the country. As we take a look at our analyst selections, and it's the inside runners that everyone's going with in here. Andy, Maggie both like Paz the Bourbon, and Paul and Gabby going with She's Dreamin', and here the new shooter coming off that 4-length score.
And she does have some questions to answer. She just recently broke her maiden. She's facing winners for the first time. But when you see a horse win by 4 lengths on the turf, that's pretty incredible, and I think she can take that step forward with added distance.
Andy, meanwhile, Paz the Bourbon, 5-2 on the board. So how you feel as they approach the gate here?
I feel confident. I like the way that board looked. It was me and Gabby against Maggie, or me and Maggie against Paul and Gabby. I like that. That was like, it's a real duel.
We're going to win. And here's the other thing. I'm going to take the 5, and you can have everybody else of the long shots. I think the 5 actually is going to outrun his odds today.
I'm going to bet you right now, Drinks, Hamlet, and Ghost. I will bet you the 3, who's 37-1, beats the 5, who's 20-1.
Oh, that's a lock. I'll take it.
You're in. Gabby, you cannot get involved.
Free drinks. Gabby, you can sip some of mine.
Thank
you know, it's
Paul.
funny. The 2 fillies that not
Give her
only
a water.
we didn't talk a lot about, but Andy knocked. Watch out. He may just go ahead and put one of these 2 in the winner's circle. Statue.
5.
It is. Statue of Liberty coming up. We are loading up here. It is Paz the Bourbon, the one who is the favorite. Let's send it upstairs to Larry Colmus, the voice of New York racing, for the call.
Here's Emiliana's Hope now moving into the starting gate. It'll be followed by Lady Joan. Silly Numbers, second last to go in. And Carry Your Heels will be the last one. 5-2 right now on Paz the Bourbon from the inside gate. As Carry Your Heels balks a bit to take this outside stall. Now steps up and in. They're all in line. They're off. And there goes Lover's Key out for the lead. Junior Alvarado gets Lover's Key into it early, opening up a length and a half from Lady Joan, Paz the Bourbon, and Hollywood Cat on the outside, racing for that turn. Then comes Carry Your Heels and She's Dreamin'. Break of another 2 to Emiliana's Hope, and Silly Numbers is last. Lover's Key's first. Leads the way a length and a half to Lady Joan. Hollywood Cat third on the outside as they make their way toward the backstretch. Paz the Bourbon tucked in fourth. And then it's Carry Your Heels fifth through a 24.31 quarters. She's Dreamin' is next. And then it's Silly Numbers and Emiliana's Hope. Up the backstretch they go. Lover's Key since the gates opened on top a length and a half. Lady Joan keeps her company in second. Hollywood Cat going up on the outside of Paz the Bourbon. Behind them, it's Carry Your Heels. She's Dreamin', still about 6 lengths off the lead here. Then Silly Numbers. Emiliana's Hope, 12 lengths to make up. 48.52 for a half for Lover's Key, who enters the far turn with Lady Joan 3/4 of a length off of her. Hollywood Cat is third on the outside. Paz the Bourbon and Javier Castellano continue to ride the rail around the turn, now being nudged a bit to keep up. Then Carry Your Heels on the outside. She's Dreamin' in Silly Numbers, and they're into the stretch. Lover's Key trying to take them the distance here. At the 8th pole with a 2-length lead. Lady Joan on the outside next. Paz the Bourbon to the inside, and then Hollywood Cat. Lover's Key still going strong. Lover's Key is pulling away as they come down to the wire. Lover's Key goes all the way to victory here over Lady Joan, and then came Hollywood Cat and Paz the Bourbon in 1 minute, 34.97 seconds.
Well, look, going in like Lover's Key would get to the front end in here and does. Allowed to go 24-1, 48-2 for the half. And that's the winning move here. She's now won 5 of her last 6.
You do wonder sometimes if the riders are paying any attention, because they seem to allow one horse to get the front in these mile races and they never get beaten. But this horse was much the best in here. The ultimate indignity was the 5, who I mocked, running a ton better than I expected to, and beating my selection, the 1. So the dunce cap goes on my head.
I'll take a Saratoga L, but that's okay.
You got better than that.
Yeah, by the way, this just shows you that what ends up happening, you really don't know about the distance, right? Talked about great information by Maggie saying this horse has got one way of going. And Gabby, I think Luis Saez goes, okay, last time I rode Lady Joan against Lover's Key, I sat right off her and went by her. Different ball game today.
It's a different ball game when you're going a little bit longer and they're going a little bit slower too. I actually wish that we could have seen maybe Luis Saez take a more aggressive approach and keeping the pace honest with the 6 Lover's Key. It was once again, just like last time, a merry-go-round. Nobody really improved positions dramatically in here.
much like the mile turf race that we saw in the 6th race.
It was a replay, right?
You know, it's listen, Lover's Key may be the best horse in this race. I am not looking to knock
Well, now
her
she
at
is.
all.
She's a 5-time
but
winner.
You watch the break, and we kind of showed it pretty close. Luis Saez and Luis Saez is a terrific rider. He made no attempt whatsoever to be aggressive. You're inside of Lover's Key. At least make her run a little bit to get there in the first turn. Maybe it would have made a difference.
Greg, the moral of the story is the filly that had the most wins just adds to her winning total.
Speed kills.
We made it way too difficult in here. She'd won 4 of 5 coming in, make it 5 of 6, and it looked like she was the speed of the race as well. What more did we need?
That went often.
Lover's Key gets the job done. 6-4-5-1. Statue of Liberty in the books. We'll be back with the prices right after this. We'll continue with Fabulous Fillies Day and talk about our favorites of all time. Where's Zenyatta stack up?
Make NyraBets your home for online horse racing and betting. Use NyraBets to bet on live horse racing from around the world. Bet from anywhere, anytime using your computer or mobile device. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Play in our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates. Sign up at NyraBets.com and start earning your sign-up bonus today. NyraBets, racing's best play. Use promo code PICK5 to get a $200 new member sign-up bonus on NyraBets.com.
And they're off in New York, the premier state-bred program in the United States. When you own a New York bred, your horse can run for more than $44 million in purses, restricted to registered New York breds. And the New York program pays awards to breeders, owners, and stallion owners when their New York breds finish first, second, or third at New York tracks. We have the quality.
Dakota, they won't catch Monin. Monin wins the February Stakes.
You have the opportunity. New York breds, get with the program. The best program.
Change the way you watch racing forever with the new Naira Now app. Live racing in English or Spanish. From a variety of camera angles, race replays, talking horses, race analysis, and a multitude of on-demand content, all in high definition. Naira Now is available on many platforms, including iOS, Android, Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire, and more coming soon. Download Naira Now today, free in the App Store, and start watching the best racing like never before.
Lover's Key, what a roll she is on. She's won 5 of her last 6 starts, back-to-back victories as well for owner and trainer. Reed Nagel pays $10 for the victory. Junior Alvarado aboard for the winning ride. Maggie has more.
And here with winning trainer Reed Nagel with Lover's Key. I had talked to you 2 starts ago for the Cubicoy's Joy, and she is a filly that has turned her life around with the addition of those blinkers. And they're pretty specific blinkers with the extension cup and the full cup on her left eye. How has that helped her? What kind of things have they helped for her to do in her races?
It's really enabled her to focus. And in 2 of her races that she won, she handled the first turn perfectly, went tightly around it. The far turn, she just went out to the outer rail, still won. So we put the stronger blinkers on the right-hand side, and that's dealt with the issue. So now she's completely focused on what her job is, and she seems to know it pretty well.
And that's to run fast from the gate and take them gate to wire, as she did here today. And you said to Junior, I overheard you, said that was easier than you thought it would be.
Absolutely, yeah. No, the pace was very reasonable, and she's shown she can come from off the pace too, but he knows how to rate her very well and has done a fabulous job doing that.
And Reed, you have most of your horses down in Florida, but you also have a farm in Virginia, correct? Are you training from there?
Yes, from Charlottesville. So we have a wonderful staff both in Florida and in Virginia, and you know, some nice horses and wonderful people.
Reed, you're a very interesting story, and we wish you the best of luck. Congratulations here in the Statue of Liberty.
Thanks, Maggie.
All right, guys.
Lover's Key. Yeah, your Statue of Liberty winner. Well done by Junior Alvarado to get to the front and keep on going and get the job done. 5 for 12 now for this daughter of Frost Giant. Time for what's trending as we take a look here on Fabulous Fillies Day. It's all about the Fillies today. Two most inspiring Fillies for me were Goldakova and Azeri. We asked earlier on Twitter what some of the public's favorites were. Goldakova, of course, so tremendous in her career. Rachel Alexander, she beat males 3 times in her career. Older males right here in the Woodward. That was my first ever trip to Saratoga.
Wow, that's incredible. Rachel Alexander, great.
Ryan Stanzel says saw Winning Colors back in 1988, Breaker Maiden over Epitome at the Spa. 88 was, of course, when she won the Kentucky Derby with my grandmother at age 9. Was therefore my first Derby pick. Quite a filly. All great choices. So we kind of had to battle each other who was quickest on the draw when all of us decided who was going to be our favorite filly to talk about on the show. So we'll start with Maggie. Where did you wind up?
I beat you, Greg. 2 extra heat. I know you like her as well, but she's just a filly that exemplifies what I love about racing and how I grew up. She's a blue-collar filly. She was purchased for $5,000 at the Fasig-Tipton Mid-Atlantic sale as a 2-year-old by her trainer, John Salzman Sr., and she's blue-collar all the way, and she's super, super quick. We saw her win the Prioress at Belmont, but maybe her best race was in defeat in the Breeders' Cup Sprint, where she just took them on a torrid pace and just got run down by Squirtle Squirt in the final stages of that. She's one that I love, and she has Maryland roots too, and another girl that has some Maryland roots, Gabby.
That's right, Maggie, and I had to be faithful to my Maryland heritage. I had to, and full disclosure, my favorite filly of all time, well, I wasn't around when she was racing.
That's okay.
So I actually went to Gallarette, who just had an incredible career. And the reason why I love her so much is my dad was 18 years old when she won the 1948 Whitney. And growing up, he would always talk about her. You can just see the performances that she did. At 3, she dominated her division. She won the Acorn, the Pimlico Oaks, otherwise known as the Black-Eyed Susan, Delaware Oaks. She went on to beat Stymie multiple times. She won here. She won the Whitney. She won at distances of 7 furlongs, 1.25 miles, 6 furlongs. It's a little bit of a sentimental pick for me.
Well, no, I love it too. Like, for those that don't know, Gallarette, maybe go into that Book of Champions and take a look at the past performances because they're incredible. Andy, where'd you wind up?
I'm pretty excited that Gabby picked Gallarette.
Yeah,
it was great to look at her PPs. I picked a filly that I just loved, and that was Go for Wand. And, you know, I hope people go back to YouTube and appreciate just what a great filly she was. A lot of her races are available. I actually tweeted them out recently. This is her winning the test, actually. And I can still remember standing on the chute when the horses go from the walking ring out the track and watching Go for Wand come by that day. And she was an absolutely beautiful filly. She came back just 9 days later, and she won the Alabama over Sharon. She was an incredible horse. She went right back to Belmont and just actually just 22 days after winning the Alabama, she beat older horses at 1 mile, came back a month later, won the Beldame in 1:45.4 against older horses. I mean, obviously she met a very tragic ending. She's buried on the infield here at Saratoga. When I go out the infield, I like to stop by her grave and visit it. To me, she was just everything good about horse racing, an absolutely beautiful filly, and I'll love her for as long as I live.
I guess a lot of it is to do with the memories, right? I mean, Mine's Lady Secret. I was 14 years old, and we used to take trips out to California all the time, and I remember watching her at Santa Anita. And I think in the age where we've seen Rachel Alexandra and Beholder and some of these horses crown these horses, I want you to take a look at the 1986 season that Lady Secret had. She won 8 Grade 1s, and she lost 2 against the girls. By the way, she faced the boys 4 times that year, okay? She won the Whitney, and then 2 starts later, she got beat by Precisionist in the Woodward. I mean, this is one of the best mares that ever ran on a racetrack. They called her the Iron Lady for a reason. And here was the best part about her. She was undersized. She was about 900 pounds. She was an absolute animal. And I can remember her, the gray. My mom always said, bet the gray on a rainy day. And Lady Secret always had my heart, Wolfie. And I still think she would take care of Rachel and Zenyatta.
Well, my favorite, you brought them up. One of them that I love, it's always the debate, who is better, is the East to West Coast rivalry between these two. But Zenyatta, I got to see race at Hollywood Park, at Del Mar, at Santa Anita. And the thing I loved about her, too, she had such a great personality. Everyone came to the paddock to see her do her little dance before she would start every race. And that was something to behold. She was so neat. She knew she was going into battle, and she was almost like she was getting revved up to get started. And let's not forget the 2 times that she did race on dirt. John Sheriff's her trainer. He didn't even think synthetic was her best surface. He didn't think she actually cared for them. 2 Grade 1s in the Apple Blossom. She won by 4.5 and 4 1/4 lengths on dirt. If she had just run on dirt more, if the Breeders' Cup happened that year to be on a dirt surface, I think we would have seen her more on dirt. She may have been even more brilliant than we remember. Started her career perfect 19 for 19, and I think it was in defeat when she was flailing at the back of the pack in that Breeders' Cup against Blame at Churchill Downs, unable to get over the track in any way, where she won even more fans, just losing to Blame. That was an incredible, incredible moment. And Garrett Gomez, who beat her on Blame, said, I knew she was coming. He thought she was the best that he's ever seen.
And those are strong words coming from someone like Garrett Gomez. And she was amazing, right? Her dancing before the race, her running style, that last to first type of move. But it is polarizing, going back and forth between Zenyatta and Rachel Alexandra, but all great fillies and mares of multiple generations that we just touched on.
All great ones, and yeah, we got to do this more often. This was fun.
Walk down memory lane.
The late Garrett Gomez, of course, inducted recently into the Hall of Fame just the other week. We're going to remember another great one when we come back. Big anniversary coming up for the Sultan of the Spa, 4-Star Dave. We'll remember him when we come back.
And they're off in New York. The premier state-bred program in the United States. When you own a New York bred, your horse can run for more than $44 million in purses, restricted to registered New York breds. And the New York program pays awards to breeders, owners, and stallion owners when their New York breds finish first, second, or third at New York tracks. We have the quality.
Dakota, they won't catch Monin. Monin wins the February Stakes.
You have the opportunity. New York breds. Get with the program. The best program.
Make NyraBets your home for online horse racing and betting. Use NyraBets to bet on live horse racing from around the world. Bet from anywhere, anytime using your computer or mobile device. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Play in our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates. Sign up at NyraBets.com and start earning your sign-up bonus today. NyraBets, racing's best play. Use promo code PICK5 to get a $200 new member sign-up bonus on NyraBets.com.
Back here on Saratoga Live, our nightcap coming up in just about 18 minutes here at 5.5 furlongs on the turf as Fabulous Fillies Day continues. Saratoga celebrates women and their many contributions to this sport of thoroughbred racing and the industry, and all funds today supporting the Breast Cancer Research Foundation. It's all about who's prettiest in pink today on Fabulous Fillies Day. Finale still to come here, so again, New York bred maiden special weight coming up right now. Lulu's Pom Pom, one with experience in here for Christophe Clement, current favorite. But the morning line favorite was Andretta for trainer James Bond, whose debut, pretty productive race. 4 next out winners coming out of that race.
Exactly, and one of them was She's Dreaming, who we just saw run in the Statue of Liberty, but obviously a little bit pace compromise there. Still a good performance, but we'll take a look at Andretta's last race, and this was sprinting 6 furlongs on the main track. She's taken a slight cut back to 5.5 here today. And really, there were 2 races being run here. There was the winner's race in Dreamy Margarita, and then there was Andretta's race. And I like Andretta, but if you're looking at her past performances and looking at that race on paper, you would think that she made up a tremendous amount of ground and closed from off of the pace, when really it wasn't the case. She got a ground-saving trip, and she was posted towards the inside, and she pretty much just beat those foes just to her outside. To me, though, she comes out of a productive race, and that's where she has the advantage.
A very productive race, but I'm going to guess, Andy, that you didn't love that performance first time out.
I think Gabby brought up great points, and the fact that it's a productive race is a positive. And listen, in this field, she can absolutely win this race. But one thing I definitely want to bring up about her last race, that was Belmont Stakes week, and we had taken the rails down on the inner turf course that day. They hadn't run on it in over a month. And so the inside paths were golden, and horses that were on the inside had a distinctive advantage over horses that raced outside, and she came right up the rail. So I think it dresses her up a little bit. I'm not saying she can't win.
No, I'm with you.
And I think what Gabby said are great points. But like Gabby was saying, I'll add another layer. She's a little dressed up.
Yeah, I will give her this, though. Dreamy Margarita, that race, I want to say 3 to 5, somewhere in that area. So she was shadowing Dreamy Margarita. I'm going to give her this credit. Now, She's Dreaming did not run well in the last race. She was 3rd. I thought she was game. You could look like she wasn't going to run second. She saw the other horses come outside. I thought she was game the whole second.
Game because she was inside and they were outside, in my opinion. And the winner came back and ran very poorly in a subsequent start in that race. I think both of them were dressed up. I think one of the reasons horses came back and ran so well out of it was they were compromised by outside trips.
Well, she's 5-2 on the board right now. We'll see how she fares. As Gabby had mentioned, She's Dreamin' finished behind her in that start. Of course, she came back to win by 4 lengths. Meanwhile, first-time starter in here, sent out by Linda Rice. New Canaan on the board at 7-2. With more on that one, let's go to Maggie.
And she is taking money, Greg, looking at number 8, New Canaan, for Linda Rice. Now, Linda Rice is not necessarily known for firing with her first-time starters. It's more in their second start that you want them, and obviously they're not usually not very big prices, but looking at her, she looks like a turf sprinter through and through. She has a flatter hoof to her. She's very short coupled, stocky in her frame. The problem is, though, is I don't know how fit she is here overall. Now, as far as published works go, it's been a month since she's had a published work. That last work, which looked good on the turf course at Oklahoma, came on July 6th. So I'm a little bit dubious, but she is taking a lot of money. So we'll see if she needs a race or if she's ready to fire first time out. On the other hand, as far as demeanor is concerned, she's very, very lax and quiet here in the paddock. Moving on to horses who have run that, are trying the turf for the first time, and all of them kind of having interesting pedigrees. We'll start with number 1, Spa Treatment, who should be a big price in here for Tom Albatrani, but she has a massive turf hoof to her. She looks like a turf horse. She is also half to Knock Her Off, who was proficient for trainer Jimmy Jerkins in turf sprints as well. Now, I'm a little bit concerned about the distance. She might want a little more ground, but overall she looks fit. She looks as though she might relish the grass. Moving on to number 10, Lady Love, another one. Just Enough Humor, winner of our 4-star Dave, which is coming up this weekend, and out of his Speightstown mare, who albeit was better on the dirt, but looking at her, I think she'll be able to handle it Fitness-wise, she still might need a start, but she is sharp here for her second start of her career. Number 12 is pretty intriguing to me. That's Amanda Lane for trainer Bruce Levine. This one by Into Mischief. I like their proficiency on the turf from what I've seen from them so far. As far as the bottom side, the dam was good enough on the turf for me to take a shot with her here overall. She has slacker pasterns, very angled as well, and she's very short coupled and carries a lot of good weight, got a good muscle weight. So I think that she should like this 5.5 distance here on the turf. Yet, though, another one still might benefit from racing as far as the fitness is concerned with these, Greg.
A tough outside post as well for the second start, but the turf debut. But her dam, multiple stakes winner on the grass, earned over $180,000 in her career. We're going to take a break in the action. When we come back, Philly getting set to tackle the boys in Saturday's Grade 1 4-star babe. Is sassy little Lila up to the challenge? We'll preview it when we return.
And they're off. NyraBet's Pick 5 is now available exclusively online at nyrabets.com. Bet the NyraBet's Pick 5 every race day with a 15% takeout on the last 5 races on the card from the country's best racing at Belmont and Saratoga. Find it nationwide on nyrabets.com, right in the bet type drop-down menu, or at any Nyra track or New York OTB location. NyraBet's Pick 5, racing's best bet.
You're watching Saratoga Live on Fox Sports 2 and various other networks across the country here. We're getting set for our finale here on this Thursday afternoon at the premier race meet in all the country, Saratoga. 5.5 furlongs on the turf coming up. New York bred maiden special weight. We've been reminding you to play the Saratoga Showdown contest, and we're going to check in on the leaderboard to see who is atop the standings. A chance to risk none of your own money, get introduced to wagering, and win some prizes as well. Even a chance to win a 2018 Belmont Stakes prize package.
It's a win-win-win, and you can also try and see if you beat some of your buddies, too, with no risk.
Actually, I think today was an exacta contest.
What about?
Just kidding. You said win-win-win. I was joking. Don't say don't. Well, we got a 4-way tie. Is that right? 10-way tie. All right, so a lot is riding here on this nightcap as we get the call to post here from Sam the Bugler. Going to start things off with spa treatment here momentarily. It is still Lulu's Pom-Pom for Christophe Clement, who is favored. But here's the one. Spa treatment, first time on the turf, trained by Tom Albertrani and Manny Franco aboard.
If I have to sit here for another 30 days with Andy Serling, I'm going to need a spa treatment, 15-1.
Andretta is the 2 here for James Bond. Second time out, wound up second in the debut at Belmont. Rajiv Mirage back aboard.
Comes out of a very productive race as She's Dreaming. We'll get to her momentarily. She's Dreaming came back out to win her next race by 4 lengths, and she could definitely take the step forward. Jimmy Bond does great work with his maiden turf sprinters.
Yeah, the only negative, the value's gone, right? 20-1 in that debut, and because she ran so well, right now 3-1 on the board here in the second starts of her career. The daughter of Freud. The 4 we jump to there is Trading Kisses for Jonathan Shepard, first-time starter, and a rider change. Hector Diaz Jr. aboard.
First-time starter, hoping to get it done in debut by a rouse out of a stormy Atlantic mare.
5-horse, Amber Dancer. Blinkers go on this afternoon. Dylan Davis for Bruce Levine.
You could see that she was green the last couple starts, and the blinkers might help today. 3 white socks for this daughter of Freud.
Here's a first-time starter out of an unraced mare, Fair Weather, for trainer Asif Ronan.
Long shot right now at 45-1. You get the City Zip pedigree on the top side out of a Western Expression mare.
The 8 at 7-2 on the board. New Canaan for Linda Rice with Jose Ortiz.
By Courageous Cat and out of a Smart Strike mare. You have to do some digging, but there's some decent pedigree on the bottom side.
Lulu's Pom Pom, the 9, second, beat just a length in that most recent start. Irad Ortiz Jr. aboard.
She's definitely the horse to beat on paper this great. I thought she had a good enough trip to win last time, so I'll go against her today at 2-1.
Lady Love, the 10, out of a dam, who was a 6-time winner on the turf, trained by John Hertler with Jose Lizcano aboard.
If you're backing her at 15-1, you hope that Lady Love loves the turf today.
Elegant Gem is the 11. It's Julian Leperoux aboard for trainer Tom Morley.
Bred top and bottom to love it. 15-1 on the morning lane to 20-1. I think an outside look here to hit the board.
And on the outside, Amanda Lane. Kendrick Carmouche aboard for trainer Bruce Levine. It's the turf debut in start number 2.
And Kendrick Carmouche was aboard in her debut last time out. Stays aboard today. Has a pedigree to move forward on the turf.
Well, 2 horses coming out of a common race, and here is Lulu's Pom Pom, our current 2-1 favorite here on the board. Daughter of Pomeroy for Christophe Clement, wound up second, beat a length in that July 4th race at Belmont. And Paul, Amber Dancer coming out of that race as well, the 5 filly.
Well, here's the deal. When you watch the dynamics of the race, watch right here. Watch the button getting pressed on Amber Dancer and Dylan Davis. Right here, he asked her to go underneath the filly. So what happens? She wants to go. So what happens right here? She has to back off. And Lulu's Pom Pom always in a great spot. But watch what happens. We call this in horse racing sort of dropping the bit, which means that she sort of just stopped running a little bit. Now Dylan's trying to get into her, to stay intact. And if you look at Lulu's Pom Pom, she's sitting there now in between horses. You could argue her trip's now starting to get tough, and the 2 has a wall of horses. But if you keep on this backtrack, I'm starting to watch this going, okay, she's sort of just going to stop running here. She actually passes the horse. I thought her stride got better when she got outside of horses. Again, she causes her own greenness a little bit, but watch when she gets outside of the 1 here. Her stride gets way better late in the race. I think with the blinkers on, she can stay a little bit closer, and I think that Dylan can press the button a little bit sooner.
I think that the 1 was tiring more, and horses usually will be better. There was another horse closing. On this horse, I do want to remind people, the horse who won that race was wide coming out of the race, that the 2 Andretta in. That's the horse who beat Lulu's Pom Pom. I don't love the other horse. Lulu's Pom Pom can win. To me, the 2 and 9 are the right horses. I'm sure the public agrees. I don't love either one of them. That's why I'm taking shot with a long shot. But they can win.
Yeah, and then, you know, I'm taking a shot here. I thought I was going to get my 8-1 or my 7-1, so I'm going to play a $20 win bet. I like the way Dylan Davis rides. I think that he is a very aggressive rider, and I think he learned his lesson on her last time. I think she's going to be forwardly placed. You look at this field, not a ton of speed in here, and she could have been as quick as Lulu's Pom Pom, Gabby. I don't know what you saw on that backtrack. I think she's got a little bit more potential. She's got to improve, though.
I'm glad you brought that up because that's what I was going to ask either you or Andy. When you're watching replays and you notice that strong middle move and the fact that she kind of flattened in the second half of the race, and now the blinkers go on, and she's been known to show at least a little bit of early speed, albeit going a distance of ground in the past. Do you think that's a tactic today that she's going to go?
I'm hoping.
I didn't have a strong. I don't like the 5 Amber Dancers, so I'm the wrong guy to ask.
Who goes to the front end here then?
In here, that's a reasonable question.
I think Lulu's Pom Pom, right?
Some firsters. I think Lulu's Pom Pom will be aggressive. I wouldn't be surprised if your horse is aggressive. I don't like the 5, so I mean I'm rooting for you, Paul, but I just didn't see.
You know, Gabby, I was joking a little bit about Spa Treatment, but that's a horse they've been trying to get on the turf. I know been going long. That's a horse that can maybe show some speed.
She's going to have to speed up an awful lot. It's interesting with Spot Treatment, the 1. If we could go to her for 1 second, since Paul brought her up, her dam Silver Knocker is actually a very nice Nixio sprinter. I think she won or was second to Miss Preakness. Won her debut, but she was the dam of Knockeroff, who was a nice turf runner, but it's a Bernardini, and that's not a great turf sire.
Now with more on spot treatment, 15-1 on the board right now. The 1. Let's go to Maggie.
And guys, Polly brought up the observation that they tried to get her on the turf back in her last start, and I watched her gallop off here and talking about spot treatment, and she just moved like a turf horse. She just kind of has that bounce to her. As you see her at a trot, she kind of just bounces up over the surface, and that is exactly what turf horses tend to do. I think she's actually moving better than what I've seen from her in the past as well. I don't know if she's going to be part of the pace, to be quite honest. She just doesn't look like a fast horse, but she did get an aggressive warm-up here by Manny Franco. Another one that got an aggressive warm-up is the first-time starter of the Linda Rice barn. That is number 8, New Canaan. As you see, New Canaan, sorry. As you see, Jose continuously warming her up without the pony. She got a big gallop from in front of the winner's circle here over to the backside, and he's just been jogging her, jogging her, jogging her. She looks like one that could be fast. You guys are talking about the pace. I think Lulu's Pom-Pom is fast here, but I wouldn't be surprised if this first-time starter, if she gets away cleanly, she could be forwardly placed here overall. And then a first-time starter also, you know, Jonathan Shepard. We know that the streak ended, unfortunately, last year, and we're still trying to get him on the board here in 2017 as well. This one doesn't have much pedigree other than the top side influence of a sire that we haven't seen much of, but he's a big, good-looking first-time starter here. She is, excuse me. Wouldn't be surprised if she wants a little more ground, though, overall, as Hector Diaz does get aboard. But, Andy, you're taking a look at another first-time turf horse in number 10, Lady Love.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel as though this is a race that's crying out. And every horse I wanted to bet on was scratched. I wanted to bet the first of the 7. I wanted to bet Louisiana Lady off a wide trip. I got to go to Plan C and take a shot with Lady Love for my man John Hurtler. The dam herself was a nice winner on the turf. She won 6 turf races. She's produced a turf winner, but other horses have handled it. It's all turf. And in this race where I don't think that highly of anybody, I just want to take a little flyer. So I'm betting $20 on Lady Love.
Well, you see the selections on the bottom of the screen. I like it. Yeah, taking a 17-1 shot. Gabby, you like the 2 in here. I like the 5. I think we're all scared of the 8 because when you look at this field, a first-time starter could kill this field.
And Linda Rice can definitely win with her first-time starters. But with her first-time starters sprinting on the turf, kind of lower stat. She's only 11% and a negative ROI, but you always like to see a quick turf workout to get the wheels turning before the debut. And as I was alluding to on the bottom side, the mare, she was unraced, but this is actually a horse who's a half-2, Prospect Park, who's a Grade 3 winner on the turf. So there is plenty of turf pedigree to showcase there.
We saw her come onto the turf course here just moments ago talking about the 8 New Canaan. Maggie thought she had the look of one who would be quick. She comes in with a bullet drill over the turf as well, so that's certainly a positive sign here that she can handle the grass a little bit and is going to show some pace in here. It's for Andy's pick, yet Lady Love at 18-1 now. That dam actually did foal a multiple winner on the grass, so maybe a little more reason to like that horse as a big long shot play in this nightcap. 19-1.
Sometimes experience is always useful, and she does have that.
And Jose Lezcano will be aboard, who's been making a lot of the right moves in turf racing here at this meet at Saratoga. There's the first-time starter. That is New Canaan. Linda Rice, Jose Ortiz teaming up. Will this filly get the lead? How will she fare in her debut? We're about to find out. Let's send it upstairs to Larry Colmus for the call. This finale here from Saratoga.
Trading Kisses and Lady Love will be the next 2 into the starting gate, and they'll be followed by Amber Dancer, Elegant Gem coming forward. 9-5 right now on Lulu's Pom-Pom with the Rat Ortiz. As Passing Reminder comes up to the gate. So just waiting for Elegant Gem to go in, and then Amanda Lane to complete the line. Elegant Gem just a touch reluctant to come forward to the starting gate as Lulu's Pom-Pom goes down to 8-5 on the board. Looks like she's almost in there now is Elegant Gem. She goes in, just one more, and that's Amanda Lane. Going in. They're all in line. They're off. Lulu's Pom Pom bounces out quickly with Amanda Lane on the outside. These two out for the lead. Andretta came out running in third behind them. Amber Dancer is fourth on the outside by another two. And then Spot Treatment on the inside of Trading Kisses. Elegant Gem on the outside of them is next by another two. And then comes New Canaan, Passing Reminder. And at the back of the pack, it's Lady Love trailing the field through a 22.69 quarter. It is Amanda Lane who leads the way on the far turn, 3/4 of a length. Amber Dancer on the outside, second. Lulu's Pom Pom is third. Elegant Gem, fourth on the far outside. Andretta fifth. In between horses, New Canaan goes up on the outside, sixth. Then Spot Treatment and Trading Kisses. They're into the stretch. It's Amanda Lane and Amber Dancer. Amanda Lane with the lead. Amber Dancer right up alongside. Lulu's Pom Pom's now going to swing off the rail and is in a tight spot there, trying to squeeze on through inside of Andretta. They come to the final 16th. Amanda Lane, Amber Dancer still there. Lulu's Pom Pom is coming, so to Andretta on the outside. Four of them down to the wire. Bobbing heads. Oh, it was tight. It was either Amber Dancer or Lulu's Pom Pom. Andretta was right behind them with Amanda Lane in 102.86.
Two fillies coming out of the same race right there in a photo finish. Was it the 5 Amber Dancer or the 9 Lulu's Pom Pom's going to take a photo here?
Well, an assist from Rajiv Mirage if the 5 gets here. And I think the 5 might have got there. It's very close between the 5 and the 8, and the 9. It'll take you down the stretch. Watch Dylan Davis right here. Now, he is 3 wide. Now, watch the gray on the inside, but the gray on the inside is trying to get through that 3 hole. But here's the deal. Rajiv Mirage has horse with the 2. He's sort of going to shut this lane off for a split second, and it might have cost this horse the win. Try to get down to the bob now, Andy. It's between the gray and the 5. Gabby, 5-8, 5-8. I think the 5 ends up winning this race by a nostril.
I don't know. It was between the 5 and the 9. There is an inquiry that is posted, so we'll see what happens, and it likely is maybe between the 9 and the 2 here. So we'll see the head-on coming down the stretch, and you're absolutely right, Paul. We see the 2 on Rajiv Mirage. He comes over on the 9. The 9 is actually in that position, and he's just not letting her out.
I'm going to disagree. I'm going to say that just like Paul was suggesting, there's race riding going on, and the 9 kind of forces it. I'm not sure. It's hard to say. I think Rajiv has a right to close the door, but I'll be honest with you. And you're right. The 5 did win. Congratulations, Paul. Nice call by you. The 9 had chance to go by the 5.
You're right.
The 9 got out. The 9 had plenty of time to go by the 5, and for my money,
you don't think it cost him the race, though?
No, I think the 9 had plenty of time. I have a
bet on the 5. I think the 2. I think the 9 wins the race. I think the 9 was better.
I don't. I think it had plenty of time to go by, and I'll also say that the 5 was the first attacker on the 12. So the 5's the one who made the aggressive first move. The 9 was trying to pick up pieces. Paul, you won the photo, and you deserve to win the race.
I appreciate that, Andy.
Well, we look at the head-on here again, and certainly the 2 looks like she came in a little bit initially, and then late again may have come in again.
I would say the 2 Andretta under Rajiv Mirage, she did come in. She made the initial contact, and then we just saw them exchanging bumps down the lane. But the 2 Andretta did finish behind the 9 Lulu's Pom Pom. So we'll see what happens here. But Amber Dancer getting up just by a nostril there, and it looked like first-time blinkers helped her employ that speed today that she kind of lacked last time out, and great ride by Dylan Davis. Yeah,
absolutely. Good call by Paul as well on this one. Amber Dancer. The blinkers go on this afternoon, and she gets there by a nostril that takes a photo here as we're still awaiting the outcome of this inquiry.
I want to see, because Gabby makes some very valid points, but I want to take another look at the head-on, because it seemed to me that maybe sort of the 9 is now the 2 is in like the 3.5 path. Okay, at that point, the 9 comes out. So who made the contact? Did the 2 come in or the 9 come out into the 2? It's a little ambiguous, and it's hard to tell from just one viewing because they're going pretty quickly there. I mean, Rajiv has a right to hold his ground, And
I think that's what he was doing.
It's a little ambiguous, at least at that viewing.
Well, here's the deal. You make a great point. Because, see, Dylan Davis did all the running, right? And the 12 stung the 5 here. And Irad Ortiz made a great move down the backside when he made the gray go to the rail. But listen, Rajiv is trying to win the race. I think he thought he had Andretta by Amber Dancer.
Let's watch here.
Now, when you see the pan view of this, I mean, you could see Irad. Does he have momentum? Yes, he does. Now, does he try to create a hole? That's what I think the steward's got to decide.
I believe that the rider, was that Irad Ortiz on Lose Pom Pom, tried to create a hole. I think you're absolutely right. And I think Raj was holding ground. And I think I'm watching it on another angle up there, not the one we're looking at. If we could get the head on, it's much better. And we watch it slowly from the top. I feel as though Irad looked to make a hole there. I don't want to insult my guest tonight and at the post live, but he did try to come out there. Yeah, I think he bounces off of Rajiv, and I don't feel as though Rajiv ever came in significantly from the four path.
Upstairs, is the 2 ever going to win the race?
Oh, that's a good question. I do think that this is exaggerated a little bit, guys. We do see the 9 coming out. Yes, she comes out, but we can see Rajiv take a tighter hold of his inside rein and bring her over to the 9 Lulu's pom-pom. They continue to exchange, I thought, pretty even bumps coming down the stretch after that.
I agree, guy. I think even. But I think the point is that didn't Irad come out into Rajiv first? And at that point, doesn't Rajiv own that spot?
I think when he sideswiped Rajiv a little bit. I think Rajiv's like, oh, okay, man, I'm staying in this lane right here. You're not going anywhere now.
And let's be clear. They're suggesting the 9. Oh, I see. The suggestion is the 9 could come down for fouling the 2. That's an interesting point.
Wow.
None of it affects you, Paul, though. It's nice to have an inquiry that you're not involved in and you bet the winner.
You know, Greg, I used to tell everybody, it doesn't matter if you hit a home run that goes 301 feet. It still counts the same, just like winning by a nose.
Yes, it does. Photo finish win there. And, Gavin, I think we are in agreement here up here. It certainly looked like the 2 and Rajiv tried to shut off that hole a little bit. So if and the 2 wound up finishing behind the 9 anyway.
A little bit delayed, too, right? It did look like the 9 was going into that hole, and Rajiv kind of reacted to that. It's interesting. It's a very interesting inquiry right now.
Well, it does not involve your winner, your unofficial winner here, Amber Dancer, standing by with the winning connections. Let's go to Maggie.
Here with winning trainer Bruce Levine and Amber Dancer. She fought hard for this win, and she certainly got it, Bruce.
She ran as game as can be. I think the blinkers helped her, put a little more speed into her, made her a little more aggressive, and she was a little fitter today than the last race. She ran well.
And your other horse running well, too, just to get run down in the latter stages, Amanda Lane.
Yeah, yep, very game, and probably stretch her out. I think she wants to go a bit further, but it was a good day.
And your owners, Carmen and Eddie Stable, they certainly look as though they couldn't be happier to get a win here at the spot.
Their first win ever.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, this is the first horse they own, the first win, so they're really great people, so.
Oh, so pleased for them.
Yeah, it'll be fun tonight.
Well, Bruce, enjoy. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And, guys, we do have a DQ up there, but it doesn't matter, actually, because if you boxed all of our picks, we got the superfecta, Greg.
Hopefully someone took that advice and made that play. But, yeah, wow, 5, 2, 9, 12. New order of finish. Second and third place finishers swapped in here. You guys surprised by this?
I'm not surprised by this.
You know what? Okay, so we're going to make the case that he's trying to come in. I mean, to me, it's mutual. I'm surprised by this because if you're going to make the change, this is the issue with horse racing. Who was the best horse on this day? The 9 was. I bet the 5 to win. 9 was the best horse. The 2 shut off the hole. So you know what? It should just stay as the way it was.
Here's why I'm going to play devil's advocate. And I'm not saying I think it was a great takedown. The argument is that the 9 horse didn't have the room to get through. This is the argument for the disqualifications. The 9 didn't have the room to get through. Irad Ortiz forced his way out to create that room.
Okay.
He didn't legally have the room, so he shouldn't have beaten the 2. I don't know that he fouled the 2 as much as he created space that he didn't own. And it was, in fact, the 2 that owned that space. And I think they're saying, you had no right to be there, buddy.
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. I'm sorry to cut you off, Wolfie.
Advocate I'm playing.
This is almost the same aspect as when you have, I'm going to try to put this into terms as a baseball player. When you have an umpire that's bad, be bad constantly. So if you're going to allow Rajiv Mirage to shut off that hole and be able to come over like that and shut off the 9, then you're going to have to allow that, like we saw earlier when Mike Smith came in on Jose Ortiz. You got to allow that constantly. It's called herding or not herding. It's more putting a horse in. If you're going to let that happen, it has to be on a consistent level.
I think the stewards here are consistent. I consistently disagree with them, but I think they're actually consistent. I don't see that this is not hurting what happened here. I believe if I'm a steward and thinking about the change they made.
Did Rajiv Mirage direct his horse at the 9? After he got bumped.
I believe he owned the spot, and I believe that Irad forced himself out and created a spot that didn't exist.
Then he shouldn't have had to go right back at him. Then the disqualification happens. Rajiv's trying to win the race. This is what I'm talking about right now. When he hits this horse right here, right? Okay, when he hits the 2, it's a disqualification right there, right?
Right. So Rajiv doesn't know that. He still has to try to ride the race
he's trying to win the race,
he
right?
He still has to ride to win. He can't count on there being a disqualification.
He's also supposed to keep straight course, right?
By the way, I'm not telling you that I clearly believe there should have been a disqualification, but I have to believe that the steward's explanation would be that Irad Ortiz created a hole that they don't believe existed. I'm not saying I totally agree with them. I'm just saying that has to be their logic there.
Andy, Paul, let me ask you this real quick. So if you're Irad Ortiz Jr., you got to make a split-second decision. It looked, if you're on that horse traveling that fast, there was that hole until Rajiv moved in and took that hole away.
I say no. I disagree with that. I think if you watch it, Irad creates it with that first move. I'm saying that's what the stewards believe, and I think there is a strong argument it did. Believe me, I probably wouldn't have taken this one down myself, but I do think that there's some logic to that thought process.
I get what you're saying, Wolfie. I do. To me, it's a race where they both cost each other the race. If Rajiv maybe, they're bumping each other, the 5 was best maybe, but I don't know about that. I bet the 5. And
go cash.
All right, then I'll quit complaining, Wolfie. I'm glad they left everybody up.
Yeah, go cash those tickets there on Amber Dancer. Nice pick.
Yeah.
Little drama here to close things out.
On both parties is the way I saw it, but it stands official.
Amber Dancer, $18. Well, change. Yeah, 52912, $18.60 on Amber Dancer. Bruce Levine, Dylan Davis, Carminetti Stables get their first win here. Nice story at Saratoga as our Thursday card in the books. But we're not done. We have more show still to come, so don't think about going anywhere. We're going to preview big one coming up over the weekend. 4-Star Dave, his 30-year anniversary of his first win here is approaching.
The graded stakes winning son of Bernardini is off to a sensational start at stud. Among the leading freshman sires by winners in graded stakes horses, his first crop 2-year-olds commanded prices up to 36 times his stud fee. Leading progeny include TD and Rising Star Recruiting Ready, second in the Bashford Manor Stakes, and stakes place performer Junket. The pedigree, speed, and class to become the next star in this sensational sire line. Algorithms at Claiborne Farm. Undefeated in sprint competition, Eclipse champion Run Happy captured 3 Grade 1 victories and set blistering speed records at both Keeneland and Saratoga. In the Breeders' Cup Sprint, he dominated the world's fastest runners, going 6 furlongs in a record-breaking 108 and change. The only horse nominated for 3 Eclipse awards, Run Happy was crowned champion male sprinter, all the while racing 100% drug-free. Champion, millionaire, record breaker, Run Happy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Back on Saratoga Live. Memories always made here at A Day at Saratoga. If you can make it out to this historic racetrack. Take a look at the Naira Bets late pick 5 follow along. 50-cent payout, $2,124. And that's what came in this afternoon, getting the biggest number in the sequence in that nightcap that Paula Duca liked.
Nice little chunk of change there. And yeah, some nice prices in the mix there in the pick 5.
And our Saratoga Showdown free online contest. Chili Willy pulls away in the finale to get the victory. So he'll get 50,000 Naira Bets wagering points and an entry into that 2018 Belmont Stakes prize package valued at $2,000. Remember that contest. You can play each and every day. Go to SaratogaShowdown.com or Naira.com to get involved.
Great job. Congratulations, Chili Willy.
Yeah, well done. Well, we have a big race coming up this weekend. The Grade 1 4-Star Dave. We got some big names. Grade 1 winners going to be going toe-to-toe in this race. And we're going to have sassy little Lila, a filly, taking on the boys in this spot as well for trainer Brad Cox.
And she's been pretty tremendous lately. This was her second place finish in the Just a Game. We saw Luis Saez aboard this day, and he was kind of paying attention to Dickinson, who was rallying from off of the pace towards her outside, whereas Antono, well, she just slid up the rail.
Well, she was a rocket ship, guys, in this race. What do you make of sassy little Lila, though, going against the boys on Saturday?
I think it's a great move by Brad Cox. I think he's looking for a Grade 1 where she can be the speed. I think it's a much better spot for her than running in the De La Rose last week, which she may well have won. But this race has so much more meaning. I don't think she's going to win. I have great respect for Brad Cox, but I think it's the right move, win or lose. You know, sometimes, Paul, you got to run in races and run 6th. It's better to run in a race and run 6th than not run it at all.
No, he's taking a shot here. I think this filly's got a big look. Listen, Antono broke through the gate and still almost beat Lady Eli. Let's remember that, okay, out of that race. So I think sassy little Lila ran her heart out, and I think she's
We're getting covered by our cameraman here.
That wasn't planned?
I don't blame him. Believe me, the poor guy has to look at us all day long. He's
I'm
trying
sick
to
of hearing from
the
you guys,
public a
too.
favor.
You gotta love it.
It's going to be interesting. Taking a shot for sure, as Andy and Paul said. And she's going to be the controlling speed. And part of the reason Brad Cox taking this shot, speed on the inner turf has been dangerous at this meet, but he knows he's up against it on Saturday.
It's going to be a step up. There's no doubt about it. But you know, if she gets a trip and everything sets up well, she's going to make a good showing. I think she can run with this group, and you know, we'll see Saturday. She's got a lot of natural speed, and you know, we don't want to try to take that away from her. Let her do her thing where she's comfortable.
Well, when we know this much, she will be in front, and when she just got beat in that Just a Game, that was a heroic Herculean effort from Antono, who came home in one of the fastest final quarters we have ever seen. Certainly what Chad Brown said he has ever seen of any horse he has ever trained on turf. Of course, that is the 4-Star Dave. It's about 30 years ago. There was a New York bred race for 2-year-olds that was run here at Saratoga. No one paid all that much attention to it, but sometimes heroes come from the funniest of places. Later on, there would be parties and fundraisers thrown in his honor. There was a street named after him at Saratoga. And, of course, he was given a key to the city. Edible, of course. 4-Star Dave has gone down as a legend. Here's Gabby Gaudet.
In the summer of 1987 at Saratoga, Java Gold won the Whitney and subsequently the Travers. A few days later, a chestnut horse named 4-Star Dave won the Empire Stakes, a race that would begin his rise to stardom.
4-Star Dave now gets the lead by a length and a half. Then Econara second by 5. Fan Latulip in third. On the outside is De Acuerdo. 4-Star Dave leads to the wire.
He was just absolutely a lovely horse altogether.
4-Star Dave to the wire. 4-Star Dave has a lead.
4-Star Dave in front.
And 4-Star Dave ambles home.
And it's all 4-Star Dave.
Four-star Dave would go on to win at least one race per year for 8 consecutive years at the Upstate Oval, a feat that inspired the creation of a nickname, the Sultan of Saratoga.
One of the most intelligent horses I've ever been around. He actually even knew the sound of my car when I was coming into the barn. And as soon as I'd roll down the window and I'd driving in, he was the one that was whinnying. And he was very, very intelligent.
He concluded his abiding career with 21 wins from 100 starts and over $1.6 million in earnings. His resume, however, was but a part of why he was so admired.
Anything we asked him to do, he would do it.
Leading the post parade, the Sultan of Saratoga, Four-star Dave himself.
Four-star Dave and his story live on through mementos found throughout the city of Saratoga, including his gravesite located in Clare Court on the backstretch of a racetrack he adored and which adored him.
I'm very happy with Four-star Dave did and the recognition he got because everybody loved him. Naming the bar in Saratoga after him, and that was all done by the people who voted for him. He was a champion for them.
From 1987 to 1994, he won a race here every single year. Tom Durkin would get this crowd into a fever pitch to see this horse, an absolute fan favorite, one of only 3 horses buried in Clare Court.
He was a tremendous horse, and I can't even imagine being able to see him run. And the things that they did with him after he was retired, even taking a trip over to Ciro's as well. He was an incredible horse.
Yeah, that's a true story.
It is. He walked in the restaurant.
with jockey Richard Migliore, yes, on his back, be part of a photo shoot there. He was just part of the town here. It was pretty amazing. We're going to take a break in the action. When we come back, New York breds continue to have a strong presence, not only nationally, but globally as well, as Mind Your Biscuits showed in Dubai. We'll visit with the executive director of the New York Thoroughbred Breeders next.
Make NYSS your home for online horse racing and betting. Use NYSS to bet on live horse racing from around the world. Bet from anywhere, anytime using your computer or mobile device. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Play in our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates. Sign up at NYRABets.com and start earning your sign-up bonus today. NYSS, racing's best play. Use promo code PICK5 to get a $200 new member sign-up bonus on NYRABets.com.
Back here on Saratoga Live on FS2, MSG Plus, and Altitude Network. Want to remind everyone to keep playing with Naira Bets after the Saratoga card has ended. So that is now 250,000 point, all split on the 5th race at Del Mar. Bet a $10 base exacta in race 5 at Del Mar. And win or lose, split 250,000 points. An easy way to get your Del Mar betting off to a great start. Naira Bets, it is racing's best play. New York Racing Association is proud to be the leader in its Spanish language content. Luis Grandison provides pre-race analysis and race calls. Available on the Naira Now app and all in HD. Here's New York bred Disco Partner in the Forbidden Apple, handling the stretch out.
Está avanzando Butteran, también viene metiendo también el comando dominando por el medio. Disco Partner ha pasado claro hacia el comando con 2 cuerpos dominados con Irak Ortiz. Disco Partner, 3 largos, galopando está Disco Partner con Irak Ortiz. Se va ganando el Foreign Hyper. El segundo lugar va a ser estrecho ahí, bastante estrecho.
Well, it's an exciting time in the industry with New York breds. That was Disco Partner. We're going to see him in the 4-star Dave coming up. Of course, he's a world record holder at 6 furlongs on the turf. We saw him stretch out to a mile. And, of course, this weekend, we have the Fasig-Tipton New York bred sale coming up right across the street on Saturday and Sunday. Joining the guys downstairs, special guest Jeff Canizzo.
Yeah, Jeff Knissa, the executive director of New York Breeders. Nice of you to go while Paul's taking a break and going and cashing his tickets. Big weekend coming up. You've got Disco Partner trying to win the Grade 1 4-star Dave, one of a number of terrific New York breds running right now, as well as New York bred sale. Talk a little about the New York bred sale this weekend at the Fasig-Tipton auction house.
Sure. So this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, is the New York bred preferred sale at Fasig-Tipton. It's the premier regional sale that's held for state bred horses. We're going to sell about 295 of them, which is about 18% of our full crop here in the state, which is the premier 18%. And it's averages about an $80,000 average for yearlings at that sale, which is actually the largest number for any regional state that's breeding.
It's become a very, very popular sale. It really is nice how it sort of comes after the major sale for Fasig-Tipton. You also have a sale in October up here, which I believe is moving into the pavilion this year for the first time.
That's correct. That's correct. There's a sale in Saratoga in October where we sell a lot of weanlings, another premier event here for state-bred horses.
I'd like to come up for that sale, actually. Talk about some of the big stallions. I'm very excited. Central Banker has his first crop coming this year, and he's a horse that's very near and dear to my heart. But taking a look at the current leading stallions, I'm hoping Central Banker gets on there at some point.
So you're going to see, I believe it's about 12 of his yearlings sell this weekend at the preferred sale. There's high hopes for him. You know, he's obviously Speightstown, who's very fast, and that works here in New York very well, as you know.
Yeah, no, and he's got a nice list of horses up there. And it's funny, I'm looking back. I remember Desert Party. I feel like he won the Saratoga Special here or the Sanford. I always get him confused, but I think he won that in the mud, actually, up in Saratoga.
You know, another one. I mean, the list here of the stallion population is obviously evolving for the better in New York, and that's a very promising thing for both Naira and the breeding community, and we want to continue to see it grow.
And the economic impact of the New York State Breeding Program is substantial from a jobs program as well as from money.
It is. You know, there's you know, it's a $4.2 billion industry to the state of New York, the entire equine industry, 19,000 positions related to racing. So it's big business for New York. It's a very good thing to see it thriving, and the New York program has become such an important part of Naira racing, as you know, so it's good for everybody.
No, I mean, the New York bred program is great. You know, I hear people just unfairly criticize everything in racing, and the New York bred races are great. And we get a lot of good horses, and you see them compete against the Opens. I mean, right now, the leading sprinter in the country, I know, you know, Dreyfong ran once and I believe lost the rider. Mind Your Biscuits is the favorite right now for the sprint champion, and he's a New York bred.
That's right. You know, and to win in Dubai, you know, the horse is special. You know, he's a Grade 1 winner, obviously. And the difference is today is that back when Funny Side was, you know, the anomaly in 2003, you look toward, you know, 15 years later, and here we are, and every single weekend and every single Saturday, you're seeing state-bred horses compete around the world in group races.
Absolutely. Getting a New York bred to win in Dubai is tremendous. Inside Straight, Robertino Diodoro winning the Grade 2 Oaklawn Handicapper. They're all over the country.
That's correct. You know, and it's that goes to show where we've come, and it's really a testament to the people that are breeding here.
And the Generosios, of course, are a huge part of the breeding program in New York, breeding New York breds for many, many years, and Disco Partner and passing Pure Sensation, another New York bred. These are terrific racehorses, and they're going to do it where they're bred.
That's absolutely correct. You look at Disco Partner. I mean, the horse just keeps getting better, and that certainly shows it.
Highway Star has won 3 or 4 graded stakes in the last 9 months. I mean, she's kind of an unsung heroine of the New York bred program.
She is, and she just knows how to find her way to the winner's circle, which is really nice.
And it's nice to see the Bromans getting the win. People like the Bromans. I mean, the Bromans have been supporting this program forever. I go way back, before you were born, to Vandy Sue, Fratello Ed. I can remember the first running of the Empire, which was a 2-year-old stake they used to run here. And I think there were like 15 or 16 horses. I went to the top of the stretch to see it, and I saw so many good races. And you can see this list of the New York breds that are winning an open company stakes. 4-star Crook, who's won about 8 or 9 in a row. We have a big stakes day the day before the Travers here.
That's correct. Saratoga Showcase Day is a $1 million day for state bred stakes horses, where we're highlighting some of the best here in Saratoga. We're the only state that actually has 3 of these days, $1 million days, which 2 of them are at Belmont, and it's just a special day. It's great to have it the day before the Travers, and I think everyone should certainly come out and support it.
I agree. It's a great fun day of racing. The October day is one of my favorite days every year. You just hope it's nice weather for that day. I know we had some lousy weather last year, but it's a fun day. It's great to celebrate the program, and we thank you so much for joining us.
Absolutely. Glad to be here. Thank you very much.
Wish you the best of luck with the sale this weekend. The New York breds, they start with an advantage.
Well, that sale happens Saturday and Sunday, and that sale, top 3 rated sale by average earnings per starter and percentage of winners sold with earnings over $150,000. So there is absolute quality that you can find this weekend in that Fasig-Tipton New York bred yearling sale. Going to take a break of the action. Orb Colt went for $1 million. Coast Sale Topper, hip number 186, and a filly went for $750,000. Orb strong start for Claiborne when we come back.
And they're off in New York, the premier state bred program in the United States. When you own a New York bred, your horse can run for more than $44 million in purses, restricted to registered New York breds. And the New York program pays awards to breeders, owners, and stallion owners when their New York breds finish 1st, 2nd, or 3rd at New York tracks. We have the quality.
Dakota, they won't catch Monin. Monin wins the February Stakes.
You have the opportunity. New York breds, get with the program. The best program.
Back on Saratoga Live. Yes, historic Saratoga race course racing in the books here on this Thursday afternoon. Want to remind everyone you can watch live Saratoga racing, replays, get expert analysis and workouts all on demand and in HD with the NYRA Now app, the ultimate app for horse racing fans. The app's a free download and an absolute must for the fantastic racing at Saratoga. Download the NYRA Now app today. Show in part is brought to you by Run Happy. This is a look at the 2015 Malibu when he just ran this field off their feet. He won at 6 different racetracks on all weather and dirt surfaces. 6 for 6, perfect record sprinting, and set the stakes record right here at Saratoga in the King's Bishop, and a track record at Keeneland in the Breeders' Cup Sprint that is on the farm at Claiborne in Paris, Kentucky. The only male this century to win a Breeders' Cup race on dirt, running without Lasix. Run Happy, of course, now standing at Claiborne Farm. Standing by with the guys, part of that outstanding roster. To talk more about it, Bernie Sams, the Director of Stallions for Claiborne, is with Andy and Paul.
Bernie, thanks so much for joining us here on been a pretty busy week for you in Saratoga.
We've had a big week. It's been good. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, well, we'll let you talk about it a little bit. Orb, kind of a star on the racetrack with a couple of winners so far at Saratoga and a star across the street at the sales.
Well, they were very well received at the sales. The one brought $1 million, which was very exciting. The filly brought $750. Yeah, it seems to what everybody seems to be talking about up here.
Talking off the set here a little bit, you being very versatile, too. They can win a little bit on the turf. They've been precocious, winning on the dirt as well.
I think people have been surprised as many of them have run to date as they have. And I think the fact that, you know, they've run on the turf has surprised a lot of people. But I'm not so sure it's not the fact that the 2-turn races have been on the turf so far. So it's been great. It's been great. And I think there's more to come from what I gather.
Yeah, it's an exciting time for Claiborne as well. I mean, you obviously have Warfront, Flatter, Blame, Run Happy. So it's really quite a roster of stallions.
It's a young roster, and you know you've got Flatter there who's kind of carrying it along, and Warfront's doing his job. But we've got some young horses that are very exciting. With Mastery, will be his first year next year, and Run Happy was very well received. You know, and Lee as well, who was a tremendous racehorse that Bill Mott trained for
I wanted to ask you about Lee. He was a very versatile horse. He won on the turf. He could win going a mile. He won the Don at 1 1/8. I mean, he was 2nd or 3rd in the Dubai World Cup. He was a tremendous racehorse.
He always showed up. Always showed up. I mean, probably unlucky in the Breeders' Cup Mile at Keeneland that day that we caught Liam's map, and he ran huge. Nothing away from him. But whatever you asked Lee to do, he did. It didn't matter, like you say, whether it was turf, dirt. He ran early. He ran as he got older. I mean, he traveled well. It was super.
What's the recipe for success at Claiborne? Because I looked at some of those stallions up there, and if I remember correctly, Flatter stood for 5,000 at one time in his clear. He's now 35,000. And yes, Warfront was 12.5, and you just told me he went down to 10 at one point.
He was 10 his 3rd year. We had trouble getting people to breed to him. There's a letter we sent out then that we call it the beg letter. I've still got it in my desk drawer. Trying to get people to breed to him. I think he bred 69, 70 mares that year. But Seth loved him. He loved what he'd seen, and he bred a lot of really nice mares to him that year to get him off the mark. And then, you know, the rest is history.
He's been an incredible sire. He was a tremendous racehorse. Alan Jerkins trained him.
Listen, it's unfortunate he wasn't a Grade 1 winner here. I think when he won the Vanderbilt, it was a Grade 2. And it was upgraded a couple years later. So really, he won a Grade 1. And if he'd have won a Grade 1, he'd have been a lot more expensive. But he did it himself. He's like Flatter. I mean, Flatter started out at 5,000 and bred mares that, you know, nobody else probably wanted.
Yeah.
And I think he had 18 or 19 2-year-old winners in his first crop Flatter. So
you talk about some of the younger horses. You know, here is Flatter. And, you know, for a horse that didn't run a lot on the racetrack, the horses carry a lot, and you can see 35,000 now, and he's gotten some good runners. Another horse, and being sired by AP Indy, they can do a little bit of everything.
He's been tremendously successful, and just continues to get better. He's remarkable, and they'll turf, dirt, short, get 2-year-olds, get colts, fillies. It doesn't really matter with him. He'll do it all.
When you work at Claiborne, you must feel sort of the weight of the history of the game, because so much important history of racing has come through Claiborne Farm.
Maybe a little, but it's a fun place to work. Everybody's worked together for quite some time now. It's a young crew with Walker Hancock taking over. Bradley Purcell, who runs the farm and takes care of all the horses and runs the crew, is young. He's probably mid-late 30s, so it's a lot of fun. The resident vet we've got's young. It's great fun, and Seth's around when somebody needs advice.
But how can you lose when you have Bold Ruler, Seattle Slew, and Mr. P looking over you, right? I mean, the horses that are there in spirit, I mean, if you truly get a chance, you need to check out the roster. I mean, it's phenomenal.
The history of the farm just so deep.
It blows you away.
It's really amazing.
It's also accessible to visit. I mean,
Yeah.
I went to Keeneland the first time I went to Lexington in '94, called up, had a great tour, saw 49ers, saw Danzig, saw Seeking the Goal. I saw Believe It was still there at the time, and I've gone back about 5 or 6 times, and I just call up and you go down there, and people can go for the visits all the time.
You know, we do tours at 10 o'clock, which is horse country, and do another tour at 11, and you know, it's been very accessible for visitors, and you know, it's interesting. We'll get a lot of calls sometimes from people who say, "Well, I came with my grandmother back in the '70s. Could I come and bring my kids?" Absolutely, you know, come on out. So, with the visitor center and Walker's sister Allison's doing that and helping, it's tremendous.
Yeah, it's such a friendly place to go see, and it just, for me as a racing fan, I think sometimes, you know, I'm a bit of a degenerate horse player, but I think you love the game and you want to go, and Claiborne is as welcoming a place as you could possibly imagine. Let's get back to Orb for a second. He's the latest Derby winner out there. We've got some stats on him. I mean, he's having a tremendous start. I mean, his horses have been selling. The 2-year-old sales, the yearlings are selling. I mean, this has to be a very exciting thing for you.
Oh, it's fantastic. You know, probably as much as anything because he was raised at the farm for the Phippses and the Jannies, and for that to have been Mr. Phipps's Derby winner, and for Stewart as well, it's been great. And you know, the family of the horse has been at the farm, and it's just been very exciting.
For something they were never really pointed to do, that was not really their game.
You know, it's like Shug had said, the horse took him there.
Yeah.
He didn't push the horse there, so you know, he carried him along and ran tremendous.
We're taking a look at Golden Orb, who is a very good winner on the turf, and you were talking about that. To get to the younger sires, because you were just talking to me off the set about you watch Mastery, and a lot of people will probably talk about him and say, as you're seeing another one, Orbilation, is very good, that Mastery might have been the best horse you'd seen, or the 3-year-olds as well, and you're very excited to have him as well at Claiborne. And how about Algorithms, who's been getting some good runners?
You can't take anything away from Algorithms. The filly of Chad's that won here yesterday by 16.
Ooh.
Serengeti's in on Saturday for Bob out there in California. You know, there's a few more to go for him as well. He's done super, done super. And again, you know, started out fairly moderately, 7,500. But you know, again, he could run. He was 3 for 3. You know, he did super.
Sort of like Mastery.
Exactly. And Mastery's. He came to the farm. We got him in about the beginning of July, and we got him turned out 2 or 3 weeks ago, and he's done fantastic. People have been very, very receptive of him, and I think he'll do very well.
Bernie, thanks so much for joining us, and we appreciate all the support that Claiborne has shown for our show, and it means a great deal to everybody here at the New York Racing Association.
Thank you very much. It's been tremendous.
Thanks, Bernie.
Tremendous.
We're going to take a break in the action. When we come back, people questioned, could Disco Partner stretch out and win after setting a world record at 6 furlongs? That was a resounding yes in the Forbidden Apple.
Undefeated in sprint competition, Eclipse champion Run Happy captured 3 Grade 1 victories and set blistering speed records at both Keeneland and Saratoga. In the Breeders' Cup Sprint, he dominated the world's fastest runners, going 6 furlongs in a record-breaking 108 and change. The only horse nominated for 3 Eclipse awards, Run Happy was crowned champion male sprinter, all the while racing 100% drug-free. Champion, millionaire, record breaker, Run Happy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Change the way you watch racing forever with the new Naira Now app. Live racing in English or Spanish. From a variety of camera angles, race replays, talking horses, race analysis, and a multitude of on-demand content, all in high definition. Naira Now is available on many platforms, including iOS, Android, Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire, and more coming soon. Download Naira Now today, free in the App Store, and start watching the best racing like never before.
Eclipse Award winner Blaine retired to stud with more than $4.3 million in earnings, including a historic victory over Zenyatta in the Breeders' Cup Classic. Now he's making a name for himself as an internationally successful stallion. In 2017, his top runners include stakes winner No Fault of Mine, Japanese star Resonator, and classic winner Singa, the dominant victor of this year's Grade 1 French Oaks. Blaine at Claiborne Farm.
Make NyraBets your home for online horse racing and betting. Use NyraBets to bet on live horse racing from around the world. Bet from anywhere, anytime using your computer or mobile device. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Play in our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates. Sign up at NyraBets.com and start earning your sign-up bonus today. Naira Bets, racing's best play. Use promo code PICK5 to get a $200 new member sign-up bonus on NairaBets.com.
Well, turf course getting set to be used this weekend for the Grade 1 4-star Dave, named after one of the fan favorites here that has ever been on the grounds here at Saratoga. And Disco Partner set a world record at 6 furlongs in the Jaipur 2 starts back. Some question, could he go a mile? And Gabby, I think he can.
I think so too. He proved it to us. His performance in the Jaipur was absolutely fantastic. It was a world record. He came back to stretch out in the Forbidden Apple. He stalked and he won by 3. What more could you ask for him?
Guys, you a believer now that he can handle a mile after that Forbidden Apple?
I'm a believer that he's a very good racehorse. Perfect trip or not, beating Green Mask in any race in the turf sprint is a huge achievement. And absolutely, he wanted a mile around 1 turn with a perfect trip. Now, I know he's won at 2 turns at Aqueduct. This is a whole different ball game because you look at the way the race lays out. Pretty Little Lila goes the lead, and he ends up stalking outside. I'm not convinced he's going to stalk Pretty Little Lila and finish at 2 turns at a mile and beat the likes of Time Test as well as World Approval. He might do it, but I'm dubious.
Yeah, I'm dubious because here's the deal. Like, isn't this the time you take a chance to beat Disco Partner here at Saratoga around 2 turns when basically this horse is going to be the horse to beat? I think World Approval will be tough in there, guys.
Oh, it's going to be fantastic. We will see it on Saturday. Our next show tomorrow, Friday the 11th, 4 to 6:30 p.m. Check your local listings in the New York Stallion Stakes. Statue of Liberty, Lover's Key, went to the front, never looked back. Won 5 of her last 6 starts. Big time performance. We will see you on Friday with more Saratoga Live. Take care, everyone.